My glasses too. You got your glasses? Oh, we're live. Hi. How is everybody?
Dying. These ice cream's awful small.
I don't know. It looks like it's tiny too. It's just I'm really big. I feel like I take up the whole screen. I don't know. So we're in Kansas with our daughter and decided to come down here. We got something to eat, and now we're going. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. That's your thing, not mine. Just choking. You got your glasses on.
I know.
So it looks like Janice is on, and 95 in North Carolina. Yeah, when we got here, what did we get here? Friday? Yeah, Friday. It was 103 degrees, and the humidity was at least 100%. I don't know if it can be more than that, but if it was, because it was sweaty hot. And took some stuff out of the trailer and did all that. Moved the trailer over to one of their friends' house. They're gracious enough to let us go over there and keep our trailer. Forgot a few things, so we've been going back and forth. But packing up and helping her move. I've got our youngest grandson, went through all his drawers the other day, got his stuff done. So just doing that, spending some time with them, where they moved down to Houston. I don't know if we'll be able to see them on our way home from Biketoberfest, which we're going to talk a little bit about because we're going to do Biketoberfest as our ending up rally, and that is October, I think, 15th to the 19th, I believe, and we'll be down there for that. So hopefully we'll see you down there. I know Emmer HVAC wrote the other day, and he said he was going to come down there, so we'll be able to see him. Looks like Mike, Big Boy Mike's on. Neil made it home. I don't know if he's on or not. I was going to text him too. I can't see. It says more comments. Rick's on, and I don't think I have it on my thing. I don't know which one you got it on. So we're out here in the Midwest where it's warm, and I'm sure it's still warm over across most of the nation. Puppy's doing good. She's 9 weeks old. She's sleeping on my lap. So sleeps a lot still, except for at night. So I feel like a new mom, not getting much sleep at night. Neither one of us. I take turns. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. Somebody says, is that Harley went forever? Yep. He's just newlywed married. Hello, Bob and Tim. Just wanted to say thank you for our wedding day. It was a great day. It was. We had a good time. Very special. It was sacred place. It was at Fairview
I don't know why it's so
State Park.
Why the screen's so small? It's even small on my phone.
I don't know.
It's really weird.
If there's anything we can do to make it bigger or not.
I doubt it.
So, anyway.
Didn't click before I started.
Maybe. So, we're just enjoying time with our daughter and grandson and spending some time with them. And she gets ready to head down to Texas. She has to be down there in Houston September 14th. So yeah, she only got 2 weekends to pack up and move. So we're going to help her as much as we can and get rid of stuff. Right for barbecue's on. Okay. Let me get my glasses out. Otherwise I won't be able to see this probably.
So first of all, I got to do a little plug here for Oktoberfest. We're down to less than 60 days to book. They have their app that we don't have on here to show you, but we'll put the barcode. We'll check one of the other videos. If you use our barcode, we get brownie points for it. And so can't put it on live. Probably could, but can't do it at this moment because it's on my computer, and we don't have a computer. We're using the phone. So like I say, I don't know why the screens are so small. If you're watching it at home, I don't know. It should be set for, unless it switched it from 7 to like 720 or something. It's supposed to be 1080. That's just on the screen. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So Dave's on. Dave and Linda from down there in Utah. Can't think of the name. Rick said from. Jack says bad audio. So can the rest of you hear us, or is it that bad? Johnny B. Good says choppy audio. Says bad audio.
Yeah, it is. Let me see what I can do. I can switch the, make sure the microphone.
Is on. Settings.
Let's plug up the USB.
So
All
there.
right, let me try just unplug it. All right, so we're back. Let me check the audio and see if it's any good again. Let's see if that sounds any better. Let me check the audio and see. Sounds like it might be a little better. We're using the phone now, so let me know how that sounds. If it sounds any better for you guys.
Oh, Dave and Tammy on. How you guys doing?
We're over at Chili's right now, so got a little bit of music in the background. There's people talking.
Right over to. Well, I don't know. This might have been from before.
Yeah, you gotta.
It might be your internet. But we had pretty good internet going up, didn't you? He says, oops. Probably insufficient bandwidth.
Okay, I think it's all right now, so we'll give it a couple minutes to see. If not, I could switch to the other phone. I could switch to my phone and see if it'd work any better.
Hey Greg, how you doing? So I'm assuming everybody's home, safe and sound. If you went to Sturgis, Sturgis was a good rally this year. A lot of negative comments on Sturgis this year from different YouTubers and different things going on. Um,
We're going to talk about that tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, seen Professional Monkey. He put a thing up
About his thoughts on it, I guess, what he thought, what he did during that time.
Kind of weird.
What?
It didn't put. See if I turn this off, if it'll stay on.
There, he's switching phones. He went from the one phone to his phone to see if it sounds any better. So
Give me a minute here to get it all up. There we go.
is the picture any bigger?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Look at my. Let's see. So
One again.
Let's see.
Again, this is one again. We're back. So anyway, we're talking to see if we can tell if it's still choppy or if the audio is better. And we switched phones to see if it would be any better.
Okay, so let me know if that's better. I'm gonna try plugging the microphone in, and we'll see if it'll pick up. Maybe we'll put the microphone down low. I don't know why it's happened to be up so high. We'll choke it up. Get the microphone closer to us. Let me plug this guy back in. Stay tuned for technical difficulties.
Yes, something, isn't it?
I don't want any of that. It's probably lost it again. Oh, why? He keeps putting that other camera on. It is not on. Why is it showing the top of my head on this other phone? Ah,
Now can you hear us?
can you hear me now? Let's see what we got.
Now can you hear us?
All right. So it sounds like it's working again.
Yay, audio, somebody says. I can't see all the comments.
So she's gonna look that up and figure out what's going on with that.
Probably chewed on your phone.
So don't know what's going on. It's the microphone. I grabbed this wire. Maybe there's something wrong with the wire. I'm not sure. What's going on? So we'll answer questions if anybody wants to talk about Sturgis. We'll kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on. It seems like a lot of people. I just seen Professional Monkey put something up about our favorite person that jumps out in front of people on traffic and talks about a bunch of stuff. There's a dog. He's moving around.
Gee.
I'm so annoying. Well, look at that. There he is. Kind of sleepy. Sleeps a lot during the day and stays up all night.
Yeah. I don't know. The first night she did really good. So
Well,
night, I thought.
We found out she doesn't like the heat.
Yeah, she's not a.
Yeah. So we don't know how that's going to work when we get back to Arizona in November, which hopefully it'll be a little cooler there. So we'll see what happens come next spring when it warms up. So once she gets all this looked at, we'll figure out what's going on. But talking about Sturgis a little bit, you know, the bad news about this guy that most of you know who we're all talking about. I don't want to really give him credit because I didn't want anybody to go to his site. Because this guy's probably making between $200,000 and $300,000 a year on his clickbait. He used to be a real good guy that used to, which I never watched him to start with, so I don't really know much about him. But I went back and looked up when he started doing motorcycle rallies. He did one about 4 years ago in Daytona, but then he really didn't start kicking up till about 3 years ago. And he got kicked out of, I believe it's the NHRA drags. He got kicked out of there. And I think what he ended up doing was following us. He may admit he doesn't follow us, but he did all the rallies that we've done. He also does the SEMA show. He also does the Mecum auction. He can't get in the AMI because we have a connection there. And I already told him, don't let this clown in. So he won't be getting in there. So we'll, and it seems like we thought maybe he was going to be gone because he ended up not doing Leesburg, Panama City, or he did Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach he didn't do. He went to Laconia. He's got a lot of people looking for him. And that's the sad thing. He's burned so many bridges and so many people that have gotten hurt. Maybe he's not totally involved with the people that got hurt, but a lot of them are blaming him. So pretty much most of them, we went around and talked to all the bars because we were there 9 weeks early in Sturgis, talked to all the bars, and they pretty much, most of them are already on page saying, we're not dealing with it. If he would have stepped in front of one of the police officers during any traffic stop like he did last year, they were going to arrest him. It came down from the chief and he said, we're not tolerating this fool. And he does everything for clickbait. Everything is all about clickbait, and that's what's kind of ruining rallies. We talked about it in Daytona a little bit a while back, that the Saturday I was down there was hardly no bikes riding up and down Main Street. You'd see 4 or 5 bikes, and then there'd be a big pause, maybe a couple of minutes, where you've seen some more. I actually got to the point where I was turning my camera on and off. And I don't know what it was. We didn't stay during the night. This was during late afternoon, or I think we stayed around until 4 or 7 o'clock. And it was pretty sad the whole time. But I think a lot of people are watching this dude and figuring out, oh crap, I've never got a ticket. I'm not going down Main Street. I don't want to get stopped at all. But once again, it's just like I tell everybody before, do something stupid that's going to get you in trouble. We've never been pulled over. We've never been questioned by the police at all the rallies that we go to. Not everybody knows who we are. A lot of the police officers, especially like in Daytona, we know some of the Ormond Beach police, but we don't know any of the Daytona police at all. So just leaving that at that situation. But it's just like when he's talking about the $25 tacos. I have no idea where that's at. I didn't see it anywhere. I'm assuming because since he got thrown out of pretty much all the bars, he really hung out on Main Street, LaSalle, the whole time he was there. So, and the chief told him he's seen a couple of times of him running back and forth. And because I thought first time maybe he had a scanner, and they said no, he just kind of gets, and I guess he's kind of in the middle of a section where he's watching. He sees a police car come, here he comes running. And so it's just caused a lot of turmoil and stuff like this, and people just need to. We need to really not even talk about the guy. We should just if you
Ignore.
yeah, and because all the people that pretty much probably 99% of the people that he has don't even own a motorcycle because you can tell that when he puts the girls on the page and they people insult the girls, make fun of them, all this kind of stuff. It's not people that would go to a motorcycle rally because people that go to motorcycle rallies aren't that way. And so it's just been a really bad situation. This year, we really didn't have any running with him. Oh, when we were talking about him last Sunday, he walked by a bunch of times. Big old grin on his face, like he thought we were going to show him the camera to him or call him over. Screw you, dude. I'm not going to give you any coverage. I tried years ago. Well, actually, first time I seen him at the SEMA show, he popped in. I went by him and said hi, and he didn't say nothing. So I'm like, dude, I don't need you. I don't want you. I don't want anything. He ruined our Kate Leno interview we had set up. But after he went down to Paul Senior down at down there in Clearwater, he ruined that. And then so Jay won't talk to any YouTubers at all anymore. So yeah. So it's really sad that people like that ruin this. And then I didn't really realize that he was I want to say he's a tweaker, but he's not a tweaker. I don't want to say he's a pedophile. He's a
Womanizer?
No, not a womanizer, but he's always
a predator.
Yeah, predator. That he goes after a lot. I've seen stuff on the internet. I don't know if this is true. That he's kind of gone after some of the not NASCAR, but some of the guys that race nitro bikes and stuff like that. Some of their kids, and has said stuff and done stuff. And I'm not sure if that's why he got banned or not. But we had heard that quite a while back, and I actually talked to somebody that was in NHRA, and they said, "Oh yeah, he's not allowed on the property at all anymore. He can buy a ticket and sit in the stands, but he can't come down to the pits or anything like he was doing before." So, like I say,
riding for barbecue says I saw him at the chip and he was trying not to be seen.
Yeah. The chip was about the only one that screwed up and let him get in because they didn't know. When I went to go talk to them, they'd already sent out the notice letting him come on property. So they were also very well of him. The Yellowstone Mountie counties there that worked there, they probably were looking for him too. I seen one video pop up. He was up there at the Bikini Girls. That was about the only thing I'd seen him on. Other than that, we never seen him on Main Street, but we didn't hang out much this year on Main Street.
We did our live that Sunday.
Yeah, that's why I said he came by then. But other than that, I wasn't even sure.
I was surprised he was still there. Usually he leaves for the Valley.
I figured he must be flying Allegiance. They only leave on Tuesday.
Maybe.
So a lot of the stuff that people talk about, prices are high everywhere. I looked it up. I looked up what Disneyland. You know what Disneyland charges for a beer?
Probably $15.
You're close. It starts at $14.95 and goes to $18.95, and there's always a line there with guys waiting to get them.
Because there's only a certain section you can get beer at Disneyland. You can't have it all over the park.
So the point was just to show, and then some other people are saying, the Super 8 was charging $500 a night for a motel room. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. If you call up that week, I'm surprised it wasn't $1,000 a night, because what they're looking for is those fools that either got like a DUI or they're so drunk they don't want to get on their bike, they want to stumble down to the hotel, and it's like anywhere you go, anything you book the last minute. Why don't you go book an airline ticket right now to go fly to LAX tonight yet?
Tomorrow,
and see what that's going to cost you. Where if you booked it out 3 months from now, you probably could get it there for a couple $100. So that's why I said it's always about what I always tell people: if you want to plan Sturgis, plan ahead. You need to start thinking now. Am I thinking about coming to Sturgis next year? We already put our reservation in at Kathmandu. I got to get our prices. I don't know. I checked, like they might have went up a little bit. They're going to do some more stuff this year. They're going to start bands the Monday before. They're going to start doing pre-rally too, joining in, because that's the thing that happened this year more than I've ever seen before. We had more people coming in for pre-rally than I've ever seen. We went down, which I'll show that video soon, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday down Main Street, and the cars were back, motorcycles were backed all the way to JP Cycles. It was insane. There were some cars scattered in there too. You couldn't park in the middle of the street. You had to park on both sides, but that was the best you could do. So there was already a lot of people downtown already. Now, the other thing bad about downtown Main Street is all we pretty much have down there is a few bars. We have a whole crap load of people selling T-shirts, and we have a whole crap load of people doing tattoos. Other than that, why would you go to Main Street? There's nothing there.
Bars.
Yeah. One Cent Biker Chick is there, and there's a few other. There's a store that sells a picture that you can buy if you get a picture taken on the main street, things like that. But I want to tell you right off the bat, for the last it's probably been 15 years since the first time we went to Sturgis. It's been dead second half all that time. So I don't know if it's been before that or not, but that's the way it's been. It could have a lot to do with that. All the concerts and stuff, they've always loaded them at the front end, and they've never really done a lot with the back end. But what really happens to the last weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we call it Yokel Locals. So it's a lot of the kids come in town. People that are within 100 miles are going to come in and hang out, drink, see what the bikers are doing. Lots of cars coming in, not a lot of motorcycle people. There is no second wave coming into Sturgis. Not long, like I said, for 15 years that we've gone on, let me say, we've been in the last 8 years in a row. But before that, we'd go like every couple of weeks, skip a couple of years, go, skip a couple of years, go. I don't expect anybody to go every single year, but if you go back to some of my video I put out yesterday, we've had some really great comments from people that are very good about saving money, people that actually bring their RVs. They'll eat, most like a guy today said, only meals he has is about 3 meals while he's there. He stays for half the week. He gets there right before it starts, and he leaves on the Wednesday. And he eats about 3 times at Uncle Louie's. And the rest of the time, they camp. They use their RV and they cook food. They stop at Walmart or wherever they're shopping at, and they pick up, and they're very thrifty on what they do. I feel that once the rally started, it was a smaller crowd than we're used to seeing. How can I tell? Is by going by, one, Super 8 had a motel room still available during Bike Week. That's insane that there would even be a room available. Typically, they're all sold out. So we were down.
There were still campgrounds available too.
Yes.
Campsite.
The Buffalo Chip was really low in attendance out there. So that's that I can tell you right off the bat. This was a slower year for the last 7 years that we've been covering this. I can't talk before this because we were just like you guys. We were just tourists. We came out, had a good time. We did a bunch of riding, did all that crazy stuff like all of you do. Now we sit back and like I tell everybody when I talk to them, we're like looking through a picture window at the rally. So we really don't drink. We don't party. We don't do anything. We get up in the morning about 8 o'clock. We're out and about. And pretty much 3 nights during the rally, I was up till 1 a.m. finishing the videos that we had to do, edit and get them all done. So yes, we work our butt off. Most of you that see us and know us, you know that already. Everybody says that all the time. So that gives us, we're more probably of an expert than anybody else in this field because this is all we do. People like Professional Monkey, TJ, great guy, all that. But he tried a couple years ago. He was going to put video out every day, and he said, "Screw that! I want to drink and have fun and enjoy myself." Yeah, you can't because you just don't. There's not enough time in a day to go out and because it is. This year I didn't do it as much, but this year we spent a lot of time doing interviews. So next year we're going to change it up during the rally. We're just going to do lives because most of you are all watching us before we start, and we had great views. I got a video over 150,000 views. Got another one around 125. We got the police one did about 80-something thousand. It's still growing. So we've done really, really good. But once we got into the rally, we didn't really have any videos that actually took off and got on fire. So that's kind of what we're thinking for next year. And we had so many interviews to do during the rally that just took so much time. Most of them took at least a half a day. So that kind of really hurt us.
Well, that first day, the Friday, the 7th, we only had 2 interviews. It took all day because they were running behind, and wasn't their fault. I mean, it was just miscommunication.
It was their fault. It wasn't our fault. We were there. We were ready.
It was.
Oh, thank you for that super chat.
Yeah.
Super chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so we're doing the best we can to get out the information. And I see it all over social media too. A lot of people are saying, hey, Bob and Tam are the ones that are out there working hard, getting us all the great information we have. And other vendors do have good information too, because we don't get everywhere. So like when people are like when Professional Monkey was over there at Steel Pony the last few years, he talked more about that. Well, we never stayed there, so I can't really give you an opinion. So in some cases like that, you do need to check out other people. This year, her two wheels, her name just went blank.
Yes.
Just she always, this year she did something different. She decided she was going to stay down in Keystone and she was going to do more riding. She brought her Pan American out. So she's doing once again something different. What she's doing something that most people aren't doing on YouTube. Most people aren't going out and doing rides on an adventure bike. I don't know if she got off road or not. She hasn't put enough videos up. First one was her just talking. I watched a little bit of her. And the other day she was talking about the rallies and stuff and what she was doing there. So a little different. But when we used to go to this rally, we only had 2 weeks off when we used to ride the bikes. So because somebody kind of commented the other day that we didn't really know what we're doing. And so I tried to remind them the very first time that we went was we ended up, it was just me and her. And what did you have on your foot?
I had a walking boot. I just got my cast off my foot.
Got another super chat.
Thank you, Rabbit. Thank you, there.
There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that. And so she had a walking boot on. We had crutches strapped to the side of the bike. We had never gone that far. So it was 1,550 miles one way. We had 2 weeks vacation. So we had booked at Kathmandu, first place we ever stayed when we came to the Black Hills. I did my research and I found out they had a bus that would take you downtown. It was free. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they were known for having clean restrooms and shower houses and just a quiet campground. We like to sleep at night when I finally get to sleep.
I said, just put up a riding video.
Okay. Somebody else gave us a super chat.
Bucky did.
Thank you.
I can't read all the comments. Hey, was there any issues of the campground specifically at the chip? We had some locals from the area who reported some stolen stuff out of their tent at the chip, and I was surprised.
Yes, I had trouble at the chip. So stay tuned. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about the chip. There has been thefts from tents for a long time.
Well, even Camp Easy, their Wendy lady that's like a windsock thing, they call her Wendy.
Oh yeah, somebody stole it. So out there in the corner where they have it right there across from Bikini Beach, and somebody stole the whole darn thing. They can't find it.
It's one of those things that
that got stolen this year.
They did.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing bad about the Buffalo chip. One of the things I guess I could say is that you come in with a wristband. So these people can ride in on their motorcycle for the concert, park inside, and then hang out. So you have no idea who's coming in. Somebody's away.
Yeah.
Super dog. Say Pating. Somebody said they wanted us to name her Pating. But it doesn't. So yes, so that is not an uncommon thing. The issue that we're hearing more on social media is we just got an article somebody sent us from the local newspaper that there's an investigation on their security. So let me tell you my story, because we don't know if we're even going to cover the chip anymore. We talked to Woody, we got an understanding with him, but he's not running the whole show anymore. So we'll leave it at that. But what happened to me is Twisted Tea is one of our sponsors. And the Twisted Tea bike, that's not going to be given away till November.
Middle of November.
Yes. So it wasn't made to be given away for Sturgis. We started the series of advertising it for Sturgis and Branson. And we'll probably do a couple more up to November. But what's the bad thing about Twisted Tea is they never announce who wins the bike. But Billy's going to tell us who wins the bike. Hopefully it'll be one of you guys, to where it'll be real fun. But even if it's not somebody's one of ours, that they got it from one of the convenience stores or wherever they scan their phone, I think we're getting more people probably from us than anywhere else. So that'd be great. I'd love for one of you guys to win it. I'd love to win it because we'd raffle it off again in our for our bike builds and sell tickets for $25 or something and try to raise some money up so we can buy some bikes. We didn't end up getting from Black Hills Harley. So go back to the Buffalo chip. So what happened to me? Twisted Tea calls me up and says, hey, we're bringing the bike up on stage and we're going to talk about it. And he says, if you want to get in there and film it, you get some shots. And I'm like, sounds like a winner. So we call the marketing department that we deal with. And they said, no problem. We'll meet you down at the VIP entrance.
And VIP.
Yeah. So we get down there. We're there early. There. What's the band playing? Hairball's playing. They were really good for the few songs we heard while we're sitting there waiting. So the marketing guy came in. I talked to the security guy that was there, big old guy with his cowboy hat on. And he said, okay, yeah. And they said, well, I wasn't allowed to stay any longer than that, which I wasn't. Young blood's coming on. I had no interest in filming this guy. And I'm really glad I didn't go. If anybody went, did you like the F-bombs that he put out? Those have broke his leg during that concert too.
Really?
He said he broke it at the Chips. I don't know if he broke it on stage or if he broke it. Once again, I don't know. I don't care. But you know, you can write it down here. Let everybody else know. So I'm waiting. So I gotta go across the front of the stage to get to
The
bike. So they quit. The Hairball did their encore, and they went off stage. And here comes the bike. I already see it coming out from the other side of the stage. I'm on the other. If you're looking at the stage, I'm on the left side. Bike came out on the right side. It's over on that side. And the guys out there taking photos of it too. So I start making my way across the front of people, and I said, excuse me, I'm here just to film the bike. I'll be out of here in a minute. And everybody pretty much let me. Well, I bump into this kid, black shirt. I figured he was like a security kid, probably in his 20s. And he's like, I said, excuse me, I need to get by you. He says, no, you can't go any farther than this. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I said, I need to get over there to film the Twisted Tea bike. Well, who are you? What are you doing here? And I'm like, dude, I just got a regular wristband on. I have to be somebody to get in the door. You know, because you got security over here. And he just kept going on and on. Well, I rattled off Woody's name and Cody, which is the guy that got us in from marketing. And this kid says, I have no idea who any of those people are. And so I'm like, screw you then. Well, in front of me was a monitor speaker for the band to hear themselves sing. So I put my camera up on the telescopic pole. I put it up in the air, and I'm recording for about a minute or so. Next thing you know, this kid grabs my camera. Well, I grabbed the son of a bitch by the arm, and I said, you let go of him, don't grab my crap. And well, meanwhile, he must have had an earpiece, and next thing I know, some big guy grabs me from the back and spins me around. Well, I tried to talk to him, and he just got, the more I talked to him, the more aggravated he got. And so he started pushing me towards the entrance. Well, I ran into a handicap later. Meanwhile, this is all on film. Not everything, because you can hear us talking, because I got the camera up in the air when this kid's talking to me. So when it comes down, you can see the camera going down. And so then you don't really see the guy grab me because I'm holding the camera in my hand. It goes down to the ground. And so you see the walker that I hit. Then the lady was to my left shoulder. I ran into her because this guy's pushing me. So I get to the gate. Same thing. This moron has no idea who Woody is, or Rod, that owns the freaking place. And so I'm out of there. So at that point, I was done. I was like, screw this place. They don't pay me nothing. Oh, they give us a wristband. Who cares? Because that doesn't do anything for me. We're not there to listen to the concerts. We're not there to do any of the fun games. We're not getting into the swimming pool. I was going to say the cesspool, but the pool over there, the mud hole. You know, so I'm like, I'm out of here. And I said, this happened on Sunday night. So we tried to get a hold of Woody the next couple of days. The marketing guy calls her and says, he's so sorry. Is there anything he could do? Like he can't do crap for me. And so at this point, I was getting ready to just do a whole video on it and just tell you all the dirt on the Buffalo Chip. We know so much crap that the security's been doing. It's ridiculous. And so we did. We finally got to meet Woody. My idea was originally I wanted to see these two guys in the office brought in on Monday, and I wanted their asses fired if he wanted me to stay there. And I wanted to be there when they fired him to say, here's who I know, the owner. And so that didn't happen because we didn't end up getting to talk to him till Wednesday. And so when we do finally get to talk to him, I go in Woody's office, he shuts the door, and he's like, he just can't. First thing out of my mouth is this a private security firm, or is this people you hire? And he's like, it's people on our payroll. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, the crap that I've seen over the years, I've seen people when we stayed there, that people have been thrown on the ground, foot's put on the back of them, and they're held down to the rest of security gets there. Now, I don't know the circumstance that it happened. I just see the people going to the ground. And when she was sitting in the golf cart that year that we were filming everything there, she had the handicap thing on the golf cart. She's seen a lot of it. She said, these guys are crazy. And that's why everybody kept calling them Yellowstone out there. And these guys are out.
Driving around in the dark. It's already dark enough at the Buffalo Chip. They've got sunglasses on, their cowboy hats, and
they're standing up.
ATVs probably going 20 miles an hour back and forth in the amphitheater.
And she's like, she can't even see.
Down and up and down. And I'm like, holy cow, what are you guys doing? He lost his sugar. So anyway, it was just crazy, and they were acting like that. And that was in 2023 when we stayed there. And a lot of people were complaining about the security then. So we thought, well, maybe they've got new security now. I don't think so. I think it's the same.
Same group. I don't know who's the guy that's in charge of this. They say what they're hiring is cowboys. I don't know who the hell they are. I can't believe. I don't care if it says you can't carry a gun there or not. If you know anything about South Dakota, people carry guns. And just because it says you can't carry a gun in, there is no metal detectors walking through that front gate. I'm not recommending you to bring a gun in or nothing else, but I'm really surprised because these morons don't look like they have guns on them either. And I'm really surprised that somebody that they've done stuff to. We also heard some horror stories. I heard another one from somebody that used to work there that had a very high position working there, that they took some girl out back one time and beat the hell out of her till she was unconscious and left her laying in a field. Now, I don't know whatever happened to that situation. I don't know if it's true, but the person that told me, I don't think she would have ever, she had no reason to lie to me. Because when I told her what happened to me, she goes, that doesn't surprise me. So Woody's like, he's going to take care of all this. And so I sent him the video. I edited the part so he could see the people that did it. Like the guy that hit me in the car, the hit and run in the drive-through. They caught that guy too. So we'll see what happens. Now, Woody's case, what they ended up doing was on Wednesday, he ripped his badge off, which is full access. I could have gone on the stage. I could have gone anywhere in the world I want. First of all, why does Rod Woodruff, have to have a pass? He owns the freaking place. If the people there don't know who he is, they shouldn't be working there. So her pass got ripped off of his daughter. Tony gave it to her. So at this point, we're going on Wednesday late night. I don't know who the hell played there Wednesday. We already had something going on at full throttle. And that was my whole argument. We have passes for full throttle. How much trouble do we have at full throttle? Not much. And who is our main person that we call if we do have trouble? Senior. Who is he? He's the head of security. There you go. So we don't have any trouble at the full throttle saloon. So Neil, I cannot move. The dog is on my lap, and I don't want to do dance. He wants me to get closer because he says you can't hear me. I'm not saying a whole lot anyway. So anyway, Wyatt's dad, Devin, I couldn't think of his name, said this was Wyatt's best non-anniversary year that he's ever had. So that's good. Somebody wanted to know if we were going to go to Bike's Blues and Barbecue. They thought they heard us say that. Yes. We are. There was one other comment I was going to talk about. That just put out a riding video today. I guess I saw that. We talked about the chip and what's going on there. They said he hurt his leg at Camp Zero riding the mini bike. Young blood. Maybe he's one of those morons that were out there when we were. Might be on. Watch tomorrow's video. I've got a highlight video going on. Maybe he's the moron that fell off the bike and then fell off it again. I wasn't paying attention. I zoomed in on it. Well, I don't know if he was there during when we did our stuff on Saturday. He might have already been there Saturday. And Joe says, wow, sounds like you found the cesspool. I can hear you just fine. Okay, thanks, Ryder. Riding for barbecue. Neil says, remember you probably should move your drink over this way because you're turning this way to talk. Well, so you should face the mic. They hear you better. There's my cup, and then I can move the comments. Because the comments are over to my side. Yeah. So she's got to look that way. I can't move this whole side. Yeah, because there's a dog over there. We'll wake her up before the end. So you guys hang around if you want to see more of the puppy. Rally. And we're still having a hard time. I feel like we're crooked. We are leaning. So yeah, we've had like 4 names for her now, and we decided to stick with Rally, but it's very hard to call her that because I don't know. Because we have a dog named Bailey. So our daughter keeps calling her Bailey. Yeah. Instead of Rally. And I call her everything but Rally. I don't know. I just can't. In the mornings, I'm just like. What's the dog's name again? Come here. I don't know what its name is. I couldn't. We're getting old. No, Rally wasn't even on a list. It was. Well, somebody recommended it. And I had a couple people actually recommend it, but one of them wanted to spell it with the 2 E's on the end. And that's what she decided to do. Because most of our dogs that we've had always ended in Y. Rocky, Lucky, Scrappy. Charlie was the only one not. No, Charlie is IE. Yeah, I guess. But it was DJ, Vegas, Jack are the ones that weren't. And Bailey. We've had a lot of layouts. So She's going to end up.
Number 9.
Yeah, she's going to end up training the dog. That's what we're trying to do now is get the dog used to being in places and not being crazy and stuff. But she's actually doing really good now because what she wants to teach her hardest problem is picking things up. So if we can train the dog to pick up stuff that she drops, a pen or a pencil or a purse or whatever it is, that the dog can pick that up. That would save her some of her ailments better. So we figured we're going to try that and see if we can do it. And then it makes it easier to bring the dog in. But the idea of having a trained service dog is a dog that when you come into a restaurant, that's how you know if it's really a trained dog. It lays under the table and it never moves because that's its job. Once she gets kind of used to everybody, then the bad news is you can't really pet the dog anymore because she only can get attention from her. You're supposed to be monitoring what she did. Because actually there's a dog, I don't know if you've seen when we were in Petco yesterday, there was a blind lady came in and had a dog. That dog ran into me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she wasn't holding it, it was behind her. But the dog is supposed to be leading the blind person, and the dog hit me, ran into my leg.
Her son came over one night if he could pet Raleigh. And I said, yeah. So he petted Raleigh. And then he said, Mom, come here. You need to see. This is a lab puppy. So
they had a German Shepherd or something.
No, it was a lab. It was a yellow lab, too. It was a lot lighter than her. And so he walked the mom over there. And so she bent down and petted her. That's what she said. I think her name was Angera. But that's
so the first I seen the dog. I didn't really see the lady at first. And then when the dog ran into me and I seen it said service dog and had the handle like a blind person would have. Then I turned around and I seen the lady and I'm like, oh yeah, she's blind. And because somebody she was holding, I guess her son's arm, I guess is who she was with. I didn't see the second person. Yeah. But it was just funny that the blind person's dog that's supposed to be leading them safely across the street ran into me. It wasn't like I came around the corner and caught it. I was walking. I came down one aisle and it was coming down another aisle, and I seen the dog, and like I said, it just ran into me. A very good guide dog. That's just my thought.
Still in training too.
Could be. That I don't know.
Senior writer says, so true, Bev and Tam, service dogs never bank or move away from the owner. Service dog never interacts with other dogs either.
Yep.
And she's real good. Like if she sees, we had a DJ was like that. I think DJ thought she was human. If she saw a rabbit could run right in front of her, and she'd just go like, "What is that?" Or a bird. Well, unless I told her to go get the damn birds, and then she'd go run and get the birds. But anything, any kind of animals, she could care less. Another dog would barking at her, and she'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" You know. So DJ was really good. That was dog number 4, I guess.
Long time ago. So there you go. There's kind of an update a little bit on, but some more stuff about the rally. You know, prices are pretty much a lot of what it is. So you guys need to go through and read comments that we have. Actually, we had a lot of clowns, right, too. And clowns, people that aren't probably subscribers. Somebody made a comment about her, and I gave the guy a pretty long, lengthy thing. And at the end, I basically said, "You probably don't even have a woman." And I said, "To know somebody for 48 years." And I said, "You probably haven't even done a tenth of the things that we've done." Probably not very many people have done things that we've done. There you go. There's not much that shocks us. Let's put it that way. Because people ask that. Somebody asked it, I think it was on a comment or somebody asked us in person if negative comments affect us. And it's like 90% of the time, I did delete one the other day. Somebody said something about her, and I just deleted the whole comment. The one I wrote, the one that came up last night, I wrote a big, long, lengthy thing on it. And also said in there, and you can leave at any time. You know, I don't need you. Because we're not here to get insulted by people or whatever the case may be. Some of you, if you watch the comments, some of you will attack them before I did. But that's the problem when videos start getting a lot of views. You start getting a lot of
different people on.
You get people
You're
that
not your normal people.
well, you get people like that other guy that has his Facebook page, his social media has got all these people don't ride motorcycles, so they don't understand the culture. And I can see a lot of that when people are writing comments and they're saying, "Oh, I'm never going to Sturgis because of this and this and this and this and this." Well, apparently, you're coming to there like you think it's Disneyland, which you probably came in a car. So you have no idea about the riding. You know, it's just like us. It's like I end up telling another person that. I said, "Will you ever forget our first time?" To Sturgis.
Oh, no. It was pretty...
Well, I said what it was is we were totally scared to death going, but it was probably the most exciting thing you could have ever done. And that's what Sturgis is about. It's like going to, I wrote this guy, and it might be one of you. And I said, it's like going to the World Series, or you're going to the Super Bowl, or you're going to the Indy 500. Well, we made it to the Indy 500. That wasn't quite as excited as I thought it would be, but it, being in the pits were better than time trials were a lot better.
We're a lot better.
Yeah. And but it's like something that you maybe only do once in your life. We've been to New Orleans. You know, when New Orleans used to be, look, it ain't nothing like it used to be. But when we used to go to New Orleans, can you really? Well, there's some of them she forgot about. She drank a little too much. That's when she quit drinking.
But if I got up the next morning and had no idea what I did, then time to quit drinking. That's when I pretty much
Yeah. So but I mean, typically like that, it's like going to something like that. And no, if we weren't doing this channel, we wouldn't go every year. And typically we stayed, like I said, I repeat this all the time. We got there the Thursday before the rally. We got back on we left on Thursday of the rally. So we were there for a full
That's how
7
we never
days.
got to see Jacko.
Yeah. Until we started doing this.
We actually went to see him in San Diego before we ever saw him in Sturgis.
Yeah. And so it was like, it is what it is. And it's just like when people showing you Jackal, look at all the crowd that was there. The other part that nobody ever looks at is if you've been to the Full Throttle, that's why I think a lot of people that see these clips or pictures on the internet and they take them and they say they were there. You got to realize there's a patio, this general admission too. It's full, about half full of chairs. And most of the time, that's where we sat. I only went up front to get great pictures. I got a great picture of Miranda Lambert. I got about 5 or 6 really good ones. I went down front and got some shots of Jackal. I should have went down and got some shots of Sammy, but I didn't do it. But it's something. It's like if you were a kid and the first time you went to Disneyland or Disney World or something like that. It's just something. Or if you went to Europe, you went to Hawaii the first time. It's something that you have to experience it. And like I said, we've been to all these other rallies. There is nothing compares to Sturgis. You've got, like I say, you start off with it is the best riding in the world. And I've had a couple people last week was kind of going at me and saying, oh, up in the Tennessee mountains, they're great riding and all that. I'm saying, no, in 100-mile circle, there's nothing that compares to that. And I haven't found it. I haven't seen it. Yes, you could ride in the Smoky Mountains. You could ride in the Tennessee mountains. You can go into California. There's some great riding in California, but it's not all within a 100-mile circle. And so that's one. No other rally has that. Laconia is nowhere near that. Laconia's got some great scenic riding. Daytona's like that. Daytona's got some very nice riding to do. Is it challenging? Is it crazy fun? No. Is it fun to ride? Yeah. It's entertaining. People love to ride the loop. They like to ride the A1A, go up to St. Augustine, go down to the Cape, go down to the Fort Lauderdale. The stuff that you're going to see there that you're not going to see in Sturgis. But when it comes, and so that's one. Two, the vendors. At Black Hills Harley, there is no vendor location, even the racetrack. I don't think it's in Daytona has as many vendors as what they have at Black Hills Harley. I'll have to check the numbers next spring and see what they are. But the difference is that Daytona has that Black Hills Harley doesn't have, or Sturgis has. They don't have the other bike companies coming in. That didn't hit me until this year. That Honda's not there. Royal Enfield. There's probably 20 or 30 different vendors that are in there giving you demo rides. Boss. All that is all in there, giving out rides and demo rides and all that stuff that we don't have in Sturgis. It's more Indian and Harley displays than it is any other motorcycle company, which is shocking. But the bad thing about it is, where would you put them at? That's why I said that I don't know, because there just isn't. They don't have a racetrack to put stuff at. So I don't know where that would be, unless like Pappy Hoyle wanted to put. But even if Pappy Hoyle in the front there, you could get another, maybe 2 or 3 more trucks could fit in there. But you're not on the main drag. You're not getting the Sturgis traffic. So that's that. So that's the vendors. Another thing, the people that live there, which you guys don't get to see because you come during the rally or even pre-rally. Most of the people are working. We call them transplants. They come in from wherever they come from, and a lot of the girls we talk to, Karen and all those girls, they all follow the circuit and they do different events and stuff like that. So they're not local girls. But if you get to come out pre-rally or even come out like, here's my recommendation. Anytime after the 4th of July is an excellent time to come. The first 2 weeks that we've been coming the last 3 years, it's been kind of rainy, misty, just not real good weather to be cool. Still in the 50s is a high. Lows at night could be in the 40s. Could even hit the 30s, high 30s that is. So it's kind of a weird weather. So that's some of the things. The people, also the people that come to the Sturgis rally. Bad thing about Daytona is in East Myrtle Beach, you get what we call a cliquey rally. People are like if you go to California, it's a cliquey thing. It's a lot of people will come with their friends, and that's who they're going to hang with. You'll have a harder time going to Daytona by yourself and finding new friends compared to going to Sturgis. Sturgis, you can find different. We have typical examples. They also go out of the people that live there go out of your way. We just had a whole bunch of our subscribers that were in that hailstorm. Who pulled over to help them?
The FedEx guy.
The local FedEx guy had them all get in the back of his truck and get out of the storm. And so they didn't get damaged. We've had that a guy from Spearfish stop one time and let us all in his brand new truck. We were soaking wet. And he's like, no, get in. I didn't know it was brand new. He just picked it up from the dealership in Rapid City. And he was just a local. He said, I didn't want you guys to get hurt out there with the hail. So that's the difference that you have. Even when I pull over to adjust the camera, cars start slowing down and we're like, no, we're good, don't stop. So it's the people are like that. We always call it God's country because of that. So that's the other thing. Plus, every town within 100-mile radius accepts motorcycles. You don't know how many businesses that we deal with that close their stores because they're afraid of the bad old bikers.
Yes.
And they don't realize the money that we spend. So that's the difference that you see. That's what makes the Sturgis rally so great compared to any other rally. Now, you may have a rally that's in your neighborhood. It's Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Oh, yeah, everybody has a good time. It's all that. But do you have the vendors? Do you have the great riding? Probably everybody that is. Like, we have something in our dealership, of course. It's all the people that are associated with the dealership. Yeah. Your hog group and all that, you're all friends to start with. So yes, you're going to have a good time there. A smaller rally, you're going to have that, but you're not going to get what you're going to get at Sturgis. That's my point. Now, do I expect somebody to go every single year? No, but there's many people. I've had a bunch of people comment. They've been going for 30 years, 40 years in a row. One guy said 50 years in a row. He's been going every year. And there is those people. But some of them, I always get a kick out of the people that complain about. I found a guy the other day that was moaning and groaning because I pulled a trailer. I Googled the guy. You know how far he had to ride?
300 miles.
No, a little more. 535. Ooh, you're a real biker. You rode 535 miles to get to the rally. Probably did it in 3 days. He probably stayed in a hotel every time he stopped, too. And that's what's so crazy about all this, because they're like, you're not a biker if you pull a trailer. Well, where do you stay at? Do you stay when you're traveling? First of all, I want to know if you're not driving over 1,000 miles, you're not a real biker. You're just a novice. Because unless you get on that, we've experienced that. We used to ride in Sturgis. It was 1,500 miles. The longest time we went was how many miles?
2,600.
2,200. She thought it was 2,600. First time she'd ever rode that far. And so we went up the coast of California. Yeah, all by herself. Well, we were with her, me and Anna. And that was the longest time we did. And it took us like 4 days to get there. And when we got there, we were so worn out, we sat in the grass for 3 days. We ended up riding over 2,800 miles, really in 6 weeks, because the first 2 weeks we only rode the bike twice. The rest of the time was after that. So in 6 weeks, we rode 2,800 miles. I've never done that much. One day we did 250 miles. We left at 10 o'clock in the morning, got back at 9:30 that night. Long ride. And we're gonna put a lot of this in documentation that you'll be able to get to, because we thought we could do it, but a lot of the streets and the roads that I turn on are not on the map. So we have to figure out how we can do that. So before next year, hopefully by the time Daytona comes around next year, we're going to start giving you access to, you can download our rides that we've done. Not necessarily the one we're going to do next year, because I never know
what we're going to do till we do it.
That's right, because when I pull out of the driveway, which way are we going to turn?
Whatever way he decides, whatever way he figures.
I make no plans. And what?
I got for those anything.
It was green.
I don't know.
Jesus. 4 miles away.
It rolls.
So we can look at the comments.
Yes, I got a bunch. So let's see, I need my glasses here. So XM Biker's on, and I saw him go too. So they're both on. And Sling says probably 10 years ago, Honda, of course, Victory back then, Triumphs and other motorcycles, and they were at exit 30 at the Super 8, but since Indian became a big player. Maria Lambert says, you two are huge reason for me going to start my first Sturgis rally. Sturgis sounds like Disneyland Dreamland for bikers. Love the 85th for being and being you. Thank you for all the 411 on the area. You guys rock. Neil says the local barbershop closes and takes 2 weeks off. He talked to him a few years back. So, oops, I did it.
So that's one of the reasons I never recommend people to stay after the rally, because so many places close up. We noticed that the Oasis, the bar, the restaurant part was completely closed for the week. They were actually cleaning everything up.
Cleaning the kitchen up. Yeah, they had like huge.
Yeah, it's outside. I spraying in their rings. Well, that's legal or not, but that's a good point. The Knuckle was closed on Saturday or Sunday. Must have been Sunday. That no, it was One Eye Jack's.
Oh,
One Eye Jack's was closed because what's his name went to the front door and shook it and said who he was, and they thought they were going to open the door for him, and they probably said, "Sure thing, buddy, you can open it. We'll let you in." And he walked away. And a lot of Americans stayed open. The Knuckle was closed a few days. A lot of them opened back up probably Wednesday because they did have Deadwood nights. The car show starts out. They were coming to town on Wednesday.
Yeah. About the new chicken leg. I don't know. I can't. I guess
they don't have chicken here. They have chicken sandwich, but not chicken wings.
Oh, they might have chicken wings.
I don't think they have chicken wings. Chili's. So, we're talking about places to close. Uncle Louis closes for most of the week too, because he takes all of his crew out to go camping, pays for it and everything for him. Gas Monkey Garage was closed a couple of days. I don't know if they reopened or not. People asked, but when we left on Wednesday. Wednesday morning we pulled out about 8 o'clock or so. We pulled out in the morning and headed and had two great campgrounds there. One in South Dakota, a state campground, which was $30. And the one we had over in Nebraska was $25. They both only had electric only, but they had a dump station and they had fresh water you could get. But we already were set up, and we're good with that if we needed it. We were already had, and then I didn't dump till the second day we went. So it was pretty good. Worked out. The first place had showers and everything. The Daytona one that reminded me of the ones in Arizona. No, the second one. Yeah, South Dakota one had showers. Yeah. That reminded me of those showers actually in Arizona. They were almost exactly the same setup. Yeah. With the handicap stall and the other stall, and it must be the same company made them both. Very nice. It was very clean. Other one just had a flush toilet in it. Yeah, they had a flush toilet. I was thinking it had a flush toilet.
Yeah, it looked like a pit toilet bathroom, but it was flush toilet. I should ask you for another cup of ice. Just ice.
All right. So there you go. So that was kind of cool that we did on the way out. But when I say the rally was successful, now we talked to our vendors. We talked to 3 of them so far, and they all said they did excellent numbers. Some of them felt they did as good as they did on the 85th.
Some said they did better.
Yeah. So we did have one of our vendors that sells clothing that didn't do very well. Now we're seeing that in all the rallies that clothing sales seem to be down, because it used to be in Sturgis since we've been staying the last 8-7 years. We've been staying on Sunday. It used to be the first couple Sundays you couldn't even find a shirt in a t-shirt place. Yeah. Now we see the tables full. We got to move. She got to take the dog out.
Maybe that's what's wrong with her.
Got your leash?
Yes, it's on her.
Oh, I want to switch to the other side of the table. There's nobody behind us on this side. Still kind of crooked. Oh. I don't think there's a door in the back. Might be alarm. So we'll see how that all works out. So we do have a bunch of rallies coming up next. So we'll be heading first week of September. We're heading towards Branson for the Hog Rally. We ended up signing up for that. Paid the $50 each. because I can get all the stuff done at the full throttle, but not everything. They're going to go on some rides and stuff. We'll probably go ahead. We've never done a national hog rally. We've been hog members since we've owned a Harley. Both of us have. And so we're going to see that. We're going to go on some of the rides that they got kind of scheduled and do some of the events they have to film it for you guys so you can see what's going on. We know kind of the Branson area. Because when we got married, that's where we honeymooned at. We used to go every year for, I don't know, a long time. So we know the area really well. There's some great roads down there to ride on. We'll see what they're going to do. And after that, we're going to the Lake of the Ozarks. We leave that Sunday. So we're going to get to Lake of the Ozarks a couple days early. We're staying there actually till the Wednesday after. So we're going to be there like, days. I say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, I think that's what I say, and 16 days. We'll leave there Wednesday and head over to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. So we'll get there the Wednesday before it starts. So we'll be there a whole week before Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue starts. So if you're getting there early, so from there, and then once that's over, we'll be heading to, let's look at my schedule. I think we'll be in Orlando maybe for about a week. We'll have to see how it all goes, maybe not at all. I'll have to look at the schedule. Try to take us 2 or 3 days to get there. No big hurry. We don't know which way we're going to go. I haven't looked at the map because Lake of the Branson and Lake of the Ozarks are only 100 miles apart. And then it's 250 miles, I think, from Lake of the Ozarks to Bikes, Food, and Barbecue. So both of those will be easy drives, easy done, no problem getting there, even on windy roads. And then from I'll have to look up and figure out. I looked on a map and seen it was 1,100 miles. So we're going to do that. So, and then we're going to end up in Florida. We'll be there for Daytona Bike Week. So if you want to come down, we're going to set some stuff up this year to do maybe a meet and greet, maybe have a party someplace, maybe I get Giuseppe's Pizza or maybe at Beaver Bar, have a night that's a Bob and Tam night. And get an area kind of cordoned off and have everybody come in and have a good time. And so if you're coming there, think about that. And we'll figure out what nights we're going to do that. And we'll see what else we can do down there and have fun to kind of just wrap it up for the year. We are looking at this moment doing Daytona Spring Rally. Once we get down there, we're going to find out about NASCAR. We may end up being down there for like a month, maybe a little more than a month. So I think it's a couple weeks in between this year. In 2027, I think it's a couple. Normally, it's like the weekend before, but when I looked, it looked like we were going to have to go back to Orlando maybe for a couple of weeks and then come back for Bike Week. So we'll see how that all schedules out. I'm not that far yet. Once we get down to Biketoberfest, we'll make our plans on what we're going to do for that rally. The rest of the rallies on the East Coast we're probably done with. We'll see what happens. So we'll come back home then and we'll do Arizona Bike Week and then get ready for we're going to do our ride in May. Hopefully real soon we'll have information on that. 10 bikes is all we're taking. Somebody else told me, sure, we have 6, but we're going to do 10. So it'll be the first 10 to decide they want to do it. And we're not charging you anything. You just have to pay for your hotels. We'll pre-book them, and then you will have them locked in for 30 days. You have to book them, and then whatever they decide the final payment is. And then then what I wanted to have is maybe 3 people that would like as a backup. That way, if somebody did cancel, somebody's always going to cancel. If something happened, somebody died in the family, something drastically happened, and you can't get off work after all, or whatever the case may be. But we do it. Last trip I did about 12 or 15 years ago was about a 6-day trip. This one's probably going to be 7 days. We're probably going to leave on a Sunday. Start out on Sunday. Sunday nights always start cheaper. So the only real expensive nights will probably be Friday and Saturday night. We normally do a Best Western, so we're trying to get a hold of Best Western to get a deal. So, but you'll be able to watch the video after the time. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to edit every night. We may just do a bunch of lives of all of us sitting around having a good time, talking in about what you like and things like that. And I'm going to get another glass. Can I do another tea and then another glass of ice? The dog loved the ice.
And another glass of ice.
Yes, thank you. Yes, yes. We had $70 I left $100 bill. And his bill was $20. She was so happy. I said, well, you need to work a motorcycle route. There's a lot of that going on there. Take a swig of my tea. But Tam's out walking. We're thinking she might have a urinary thing. She keeps licking herself down there and pees a lot. So we're going to try to take her to the vet tomorrow. and have her checked out and see what's ailing on her. Yes, please. And but yeah, it's I love Sturgis, and we're gonna do Sturgis as long as we can. If we weren't being, thank you.
Should I go ahead and put that Milton in or
No,
wait a little bit?
yeah, probably wait. She's not walking the dog now.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem.
Okay, she gets the James' birthday, the 17th, so it's already over. She gets a birthday thing here. They only give you 3 days to come get it from the time she sent it to her, and they just sent it to her. Today was the third day. She didn't use it today. She wouldn't even get to use it, so she wanted to come to Chili's. And, my daughter don't like the Chili's, but everything's good for us. We have no problem. I get chicken sandwich. I always get the 3 for me. Cam eats the soup, and the lady brought her a big bowl instead of a cup of soup. And then we get the chips because we're members here. Chili's, you go in the club and you buy something, you always get free chips every time. So we eat at Chili's a lot because we have one in town. We're also getting an Olive Garden. Holy Jennifer Jupiter's, they're building it. So we have both got a church of chicken in the last 3 years, and they haven't ever broke down on it. That's where we live. So that's that. Talk about that. Let me look at questions. She's out. I have no idea what's taking her so long. Usually the dog goes pretty quick. But people like to pet the puppy. A lot of people like petting puppies.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we got going on. Okay, there. I ride a Honda Shadow 1100 Ace Tourer. My other 7 Harley riding friends tease me, and I tease them. We always have fun. Yep, we have. I used to have Hondas, and we've had friends that have had other bikes. I got a friend who's got a BMW. So it's whatever you like. Be glad people on 2 wheels of an electric bike. Let's see. Don't care what anyone I don't know says about me. If they say the trailer trash, I give them the thumbs up and walk away. Saturday and Sunday was almost impossible to find a place to eat. I'm assuming the first Saturday and Sunday. Gas Monkey closes after the rally for the winter. Okay. I thought he did, but I wasn't going to say for sure because I didn't know. Devin knows because he lives there. We were thankful to be able to see you guys this year. Joe had Chucky and his bride out there when we saw you. Oh, yeah, we did see that. And he thinks your puppy is beautiful and gave her the perfect name. And only 1/3 of you have hit the button. Devin, Devin, I've been all the major rallies in my lifetime, but I've been over is the best by far. I live in Ohio and I read in all the rallies. So you're saying that you couldn't say that Sturgis isn't the best. So my question there is because you have to spend time. So it's like somebody I talked to today said they spent 3 days out there. You don't do yourself justice. You almost, if you've only been there once, you have no idea what's going on. It's like going to Disneyland or going down to Florida where they have Animal Kingdom. They got all those stupid parks. You can't do them all in one day. You just, you wouldn't be serving yourself justice by saying, "Oh, I've gone there, but it wasn't what I liked. I didn't like it, or it wasn't what I thought it was," because you didn't experience it all. So sometimes it takes you a little time, just like in us. We still find new places every single time we go out, and we're the first year we spent 3 weeks. Next 2 years we spent 5 weeks. Then we did 9. So I've done 4 years of 9. Is that right? 7 years? I counted right. At least 3 years of 9 weeks, and we still don't. We haven't made the hot springs. One of the places we almost went this year, but the hot springs are different than I thought. Most hot springs that we've gone to are kind of like it's more private. You might be in there with 2 more people or something. We didn't have our swimming suit or nothing, so we thought if we would go down, put him on this side.
Well, that's she'll lay down on the floor. It's a lot cooler. She's hot.
Their ice is there.
And
But they have swimming pools instead of having like a hot tub. We didn't have swimming suits, so we thought, we could just get a private one. We could jump in, nothing on. Not a big deal. There's a lot of places. There's some hot springs that used to be back in Illinois that we used to live that you weren't allowed to wear a swimming suit into it. Because a lot of times the sulfur's so bad it kind of discolors you. You don't want a good quality. So we thought about it. Well, then when I looked, it was like a swimming pool. It went like $28 and it was for all day. And it's like, it's a hot springs. You really couldn't. It's like a hot tub. You can't spend all day in it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I wanted to see the Mammoth Park too. You want to join me?
Oh, she's hot. And she didn't have to potty. So she's laying on a nice cool ground now.
And it's high. So we just talked about somebody had read a comment and said they didn't know if they would consider Sturgis their best rally. They've been to a lot of rallies. So I was just
Somebody
talking about
said that they were thinking about just they said it was ironic. They were thinking about going to Buffalo Chip next year, and they said that kind of played their mind to going.
And in the next week, Kathmandu is going to open up their reservations. If you're wanting to come and stay with us and be with us and party with us and do things with us, it's going to fill up fast. I know it is because I already know probably at least 100 people that says they're not going back to the Buffalo Chip next year. So they're going someplace. So some of them all ask the same thing. What's going on over at Kathmandu? Is that a good place? Is that going on? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm still going to the comments. Saw a video where Richard Rawlings said they were open year round. That's a couple years ago. He said that
When he first opened.
Yeah, his idea was. I don't think when Richard bought the place, I don't think he realized that town dies.
It's a little sleepy
The
town.
bad thing about Sturgis is they do not like outsiders. So if you weren't born and bred there, they're very hard on you. The only exception is the guys that own Loud American. And they're not local. They've got a house and stuff, but I don't think they're there all the time. Devin will come in and correct me if I'm wrong on that. But any place else that they're not local people, it's like Louis. Dave is his real name. Uncle Louis he lives there in town. So he's got a great business. But it's kind of like when Curtis took over the Knuckle, it was like the town was trying to boycott him and all this stuff. And it's like this year he had some of the best food in town was the Knuckle this year. And somebody else already commented on here. I think two said that they ate at the Knuckle. But that was something I read this morning. One of the two. Not sure. Bating, the band. 130 people is awesome, but like, subscribe, and share. Let's talk about how many people are on. Hi, guy. Enjoy the downtime rallies. Janice. Richard did say that maybe this year that might close part of the winter. Last year was the first year in Sturgis. No, this is his third year in Sturgis.
Right.
Yeah, because 3 years ago is when I had such great videos with him, and then last year they didn't turn out as good because he wasn't giving his people the record stuff. Song, Guess Monkey on Google, general winter hours while summer. So we'll see what happens if they're going to be open during the winter or not. It won't be open during the winter, but if there's stuff going on, he's probably going to be open. It's kind of like One Eye Jacks is like that. The Iron Horse is like that. Really, the only bars that stay open is the Oasis, which is the mayor's now. Owns a hotel across the street. He's always been open. And Loud American stays open. Side acts, they probably stay open year round too.
I think they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
But I mean, they're open year round.
Yes, but they're there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they people could have off days if they're closed certain days. That's not what I'm saying. Is he speaking away from me?
No, I'm just trying to get it around. There. Yeah.
Make sure you didn't go into somebody else's
No,
table.
it's not.
And so, okay, so we'll go back here to this. Yes, if everyone watches this channel, Sturgis has been better than the bar he closed in Dallas. Yeah, this year he had a great crowd. He was, what was kind of really cool about his thing this year was he kept the prices down. He had, domestic beers were $5. Imports were $6. He had the first, was it Friday? They had $3 beers all day.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, I think
Yeah,
they called
first
it.
Friday he had $3 beers, and somebody had said that, and when I went and talked to him, he said, "Oh yeah, it is just for today though." His sandwiches were decent price. Pizza was a decent price.
$13.50 for I think hamburger and French fries. The pizza was $17. We split that. I think it was 6 slices. We don't eat much more than that anyway.
And so, but yeah, it was, and they did have a good crowd. Most of the time when we went by there, it was pretty full. And so when we talked to him towards the end before he left, he said, because he left on Thursday too. He left early too. Always leaves early. He had said, yeah, he was very pleased with the business they had this year. So
Well, they gave away that bike.
on Thursday.
Yeah, she lived in Minnesota, I want to say. So, which is not far. So it didn't surprise me.
Because a lot of people come from Minnesota.
So Neil said the same thing. He's been coming for 19 years, and he always finds something new every year to do too. So Devin, you live in the Sturgis area. Yes. Devin is Wyatt's dad. So if you've been to Wyatt's Lemonade, that's where they live.
Up the road there.
Yeah. So that's where they are at. Iceland's hot springs have big swimming pools as well. Oh, didn't know that. In Iceland. Iceland's hot springs. Our big ones are like swimming pools. They're talking to each other. I was asking because if read other people's comments, I am looking for a place in the area to move to. Oh, I didn't know that. If you were a veteran, the Gas Monkey gave you one free beer.
Oh, how about that?
Didn't know that either. Thanks for letting me know, Greg. Do you know of a good realtor I can call? Oh, Rick already said that. You need to find a couple. Okay. So if you're looking for campgrounds, there's a lot of really good campgrounds. It depends. The first thing you'd have to ask yourself is, do I want to come in early? Not all the campgrounds open early. Some of them open up like a day or two before rally, and that's it. There's a handful. Kathmandu is actually open.
Seasonal.
Yeah, so they're open pretty much by Memorial Day. They're usually open a little before Memorial Day, and they're going to be there a little bit after Labor Day. And they still had campers when we left. A couple people came in the day we left on Wednesday. There was a couple new campers came in, so they're open. Kickstands is open most of the year too. If it freezes and stuff, you're not gonna have any water or nothing like that. There's some people that live on their lot, that lot, full time. Days Inn is there most of the summer. The Sturgis RV Park, they're open, but you're not gonna. Sturgis RV Park is almost impossible to get in during the rally. They have the concrete pads, and they don't have any. But I did see the Full Throttle Saloon is already taking reservations on their cabins. So Captain Oil and
I think when we were in Buffalo Trip too, they said that they were starting. I was talking to one of the girls in the office the week after rally. So rally ended on Sunday. So I guess today they started to take reservations at the Buffalo Trip.
So they're talking about how much money Wyatt gave away. He's given this year. He gave away almost $15,500, and overall in the 7 years he's been doing it, Wyatt started his business the same time we started our business. So he's given away a total of $134,000.
Wow, good for him.
So yep, pretty cool. Maybe someday he'll get an award
I
from
think
South Dakota.
Next year they said he was going to maybe start working at Loud America, like being a busboy. But I'm assuming he's probably not going to work during rally because otherwise he wouldn't be able to have a lemonade stand. So that would be my guess.
Well, that's one of the things I don't know. Over the years, they've talked about they didn't know how long he would do it. When he gets tired of doing it, he may say, "That's it, I'm done doing this." Because it ties you up. You really can't do anything else. Are there good campgrounds around Crazy Horse Monument? There's only one. Oh, Crazy Horse Monument. Yeah, there's one down.
Custer.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in Custer.
In Crazy Horse, I think it's only 2 miles outside of Custer.
Yeah, not very far. It's more than 2 months. It's really close. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Now I don't know any of them personally. I know Des that we know. She stayed. Was it the KOA she stayed at?
I think so.
We'll have to check with her and see
Yes,
where.
Wind Road Therapy.
So you can email us. Let me put our email up.
Yeah.
I changed all this stuff. Email. There it is. All right.
I gotta go back to comments.
I don't want to really read them up there.
No.
Unless the super chat comes in. So you can email us and tell us your question. And we've had a couple of our subscribers, and Des is actually another YouTuber. She does more social media than
Wind Road
YouTube.
Therapy.
She stayed there for years. This year, she ended up staying at the ship. She stayed with Monkey, not with him in his trailer, but in his little compound that he had.
Yes.
Professional Monkey. And I didn't really talk to him. He didn't hang around long. He left a lot earlier than I thought he would. And
Well, and I didn't really get to see Anna either.
No.
She left early too. So I think he saw Anna a couple times, and I saw TJ a couple times, and I guess we didn't really see them both
yeah,
together.
we didn't really run into him. This year was very hectic again for us during rallies. Like all those interviews we had to do. And so, like I say, next year we're definitely going to stop doing videos during the rally. We're just going to do lives. And what we'll do is probably do one at all the different places. and do a live from probably not 2 hours, but probably an hour or something at each one to kind of give you a feel of each location that we're at. And probably one night we'll do one at Kathmandu and, maybe the Buffalo Chip. I don't know what we won't know. That's I just badmouth them. If they might ban us for good, which is like I told them.
No, we're not bad enough. And I told Rod.
Oh, we're telling the truth.
I know. When I told Rod when we left, I said, we know it's not you and you don't have anything to do with this and we love you. No, maybe just a little bit.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you. Are you off soon? Are you off soon?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. All right. Thank you.
So the door is closed.
So, we told Rod that we knew it wasn't him and that we loved him and we,
Well, he wants us to call him a couple months before the rally because he's getting older. He won't say his age. I'm betting he's in his late 70s, maybe even early 80s, possibly. And they seem to be kind of pushing him aside. And
unfortunately,
I have all the respect in the world for him. He's treated us excellent. Never done anything bad to us. But this has ran into problems before. If a lot of you have been watching our channel several years ago, they wanted us, Woody, wanted us to take over his YouTube channel. But that's what I said. He's got about the same amount of subscribers he had last year, around 55,000 subscribers. I'm like, you're the freaking Buffalo Chip. You should have 1 million people. All the stuff that's going on and all this stuff. And he's like, yes. He says, I want you guys to drop your channel and take over my channel. And I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. I said, so we went back and forth talking about what he wanted to pay us and all the different stuff. And I said, because he wanted us to do it year round. So we wouldn't be doing other rallies unless he goes to them, that we would cover those. And I said, for sure, you'd have to pay for our airline tickets and things like that because we wouldn't be making, it's going to take us a while to get the channel going. And so, because right now they're not even monetized. They've lost their monetization and they have no idea why. And so.
And we tried to help them a few years ago, but roadblocks everywhere.
So we ended up working that year. And from the moment, so whatever my first thing was, which I figured you guys would love, well, this year, I'm not sure. It was all new girls in the bikini contest. I don't know. I was just the few that we seen. When I watched them on the video, I didn't really see them in person. Cam talked to them. I was like, geez, these girls are nothing compared to what the girls we've had in the past. A lot of you have known all those other girls.
Gabby and all that.
A lot of them might have just decided they're just tired of doing it. It just isn't worth. But Gabby said that by the time you do the rally and you got to pay for a place to stay and all that, you're really not making much money. So I never thought that. I thought they were, but beside the point. So Rod, I said, wouldn't you love to talk to all these people, these girls? Have an opportunity for 15 to 30 minutes to ask them any questions you wanted to ask them. And so I asked Woody, I said, are these girls your employees or are they brought in by, Twisted Tea or whatever? And he's like, oh no, they're on our payroll. And I said, can I get one a night around 6 o'clock for about 15, 20 minutes? And he's like, what do you want to do? I said, well, we're going to do we'll do a live every night from somewhere in the ship. And he's like, that's a great idea. That would be great. And I said, he goes, where do you want to do it at? I'm like, I don't know. We'd have to have someplace that's somewhat quiet. He says, how about Top Shelf there? Well, you guys could sit up there.
We're going to do it between 5 and 6. And I don't think Top Shelf, they opened it until 6.
Until 7 or 8. So he's like, and I'm like, that'd be great. So they had it all set up. We walk up to the door. We got our media passes on, walk up to get on Top Shelf. And we're like, the guy goes, sorry, it's closed right now. I said, no, we're supposed to go up there and do a video. No, can't come up. You ain't got the proper credentials. I'm like, what's this? So she's calling Rod and all this stuff. He's not answering the phone right now. And so finally she gets a hold of him and messed around. 3 days later, we finally get up there. And that was the year we did the wedding that we had going on. Same thing there, which is every time I tried to do something, I got blocked. So what the reputation that we have, like this moron that everybody's complaining about, we have a great reputation because people know we're not clickbaiters. We're not going to show, if there was a fight, I'm not going to, even if there was one at the Buffalo Chip, I might film it, but you'd never see it. Because I'm not going to do that to a place. Because sometimes it's not their fault. Maybe it's something happened. It's like those two motorcycles that plowed into each other and somebody got airlifted. You don't need to see that. You could be that could be your dad or it could be your brother. And you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? It's not our responsibility to tell you. Somebody needs to call you and explain to you what happened. It's like people dropping a bike. all of us that own a motorcycle, probably everybody that's on here, it's embarrassed enough as it is when we drop our bikes. You know, it's usually you slipped your foot or you forgot to put the kickstand down, which happened to us a long time ago. When the first time I went to full throttle, I had my kickstand down, and the guy said, "No, no, no, I want you to pull up close to the building." So when I pulled up, I thought my kickstand was still down, and so when we both fell over. We were still sitting on the bike. Of course, a dozen guys came to lift us up, but once again, I was embarrassed as could be. You don't need to be putting it on social media for a million people to see it. You know, and this moron does that to everybody. And to show a drunk guy or show people doing burnouts that killed somebody, there's no need for that kind of stuff. But it's all clickbait. And, you know, and it's sad. But in our case, we don't have that. So when we go places, we get the red carpet treatment. They're like, well, yeah, you can go back there. You can go over there. You can go talk to them. You can go do this. I can call the Beaver Bar. I can do anything in the world. I could even get on the stage and talk on the microphone if I wanted to ask her. She would let me. But there's
a lot of times even EMCs that are at some of these places, they'll
we get goat all the time.
say, oh, and all this stuff, and so.
But they know that we're there to help promote their business, and none of them pay us anything. So that's what people always say that, man, you guys must make a lot of money from all those bars. I said, no, what I ask for the bars is I want full access, because if I can show you things that nobody else can show you, that's my niche, is we get that inside view. We get to talk to Woody. Have you seen Woody on anybody else's channel more than just maybe 10 words? We had him on 3 or 4 times this year. You know, we had Michael on twice from the Full Throttle. Cam did him once and I got him once. You know, they have people like that. You know, most of the bar owners we have talked to them. We didn't get to talk to Rusty Wallace this year. We talked to him in Daytona, but we didn't get to talk to him at the...
I talked to him for a minute in the...
oh, did you? At the, oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. He was there for that. When the videos on that guy. So yeah, we did. And the people we get to meet know, well, the Richard Rollins. He's very funny too. A lot of you are YouTubers that contacted me the first year he was there. They're like, what's the trick? How did you get to talk to him? I don't know. We just walked up to him. Well, we talked to him 2 weeks for the rally and told him who we were. And he's like, yeah, sure, come on down. That's the whole story. I won't tell you the whole thing. But then when they called me, I went the next day. And he put that new banner up. It looks like it's antique in front. And so we just walked away. And the camera guy was just putting his camera away. And I said, hey, I want to thank you and Michael, or you and Richard, for giving us the access to film. He says, shh. He says, Richard has watched your videos. He is very, very happy with you. I said, thank you. I'll say the same thing. I could take a video and twist it around that he said something or change the wording in it, and I could get 1 million views, but I would never be asked back. We're going to see him at the SEMA show too. They already said he's coming. He's doing another big event at the SEMA show this year. We'll get him on this year. And we got him like last year, a couple years ago. It was like, when we walked up, he was in the middle of talking to people. He's like, hey, it's Bob and Dan in the house. And it's like, that's really cool that somebody like that knows us little people. And so that's what's cool about what we do. And people know they can talk to us, just like what we know about how much the vendors make. We know stuff like that because they know we're not going to go out and say, well, so-and-so made $250,000 this year over what they made last year, or this vendor did this, or this vendor lost money, or this or this. Well, we're not going to tell you who those people are. You're going to have to trust that the people that we talk to are people that we deal with that give us the inside scoop on what's going on. And so that's what we have that nobody else has. Now, they may have a favorite place that they deal with somebody, you know, but the people that we deal with are typically the owners. Now, the only exception to the rule is the Full Throttle Saloon, which I never knew. But almost all the full-time employees that are there during the rally are our subscribers. I had no idea. I should have known this years ago when we first started this, that they'd come up to us and tell us, hey, you know, Michael's not letting YouTubers film very much, but we'll let you know if he comes around. Because he was still trying to get a TV show. He finally, 2 years ago, he finally decided he's not going to do a TV show. He's trying to do a pay-per-view, but nobody's really jumping on board with that either. So he's pretty much said, yeah, you know. And so it's to me, it's an honor that they give us that opportunity for us to try to make money off of them. So that's the way to do that. And we don't get free food. People always think that all these places that we do videos from are comping us food. Now, I'm not a typical YouTuber. A lot of YouTubers walk up to these vendors because they tell me the same thing. And they say, I'm a YouTuber and I want something free. I want a free seat, or I want a free dashboard. I want a free radio. I want. But we never ask for anything. Never. Everything that I get is something that they've come and said, I heard you're looking for this. We could help you out. And almost everything that we've got digital gauges. I've gotten the Rockford sound system. I was going to get the new one this year, and I never got around to talking to you about that.
You paid for the installation, though.
Yeah, we paid $300 for the installation, but I got the products for free. The digital gauges, I got that for free, installed and everything. That was all comp. What else do we get? Oh, the mufflers I got now, the slip-ons I got. Because same thing. I just went to them and said, "Is there a way we can work something out with you?" I was willing to pay something for them, and but in turn, they're going to get a lot of business from us because I love the mufflers. Plus, they got a lifetime warranty on the outside. They don't guarantee the baffles inside, but that finish is all guaranteed, even on the black. So that's kind of cool. So
What happened with the?
yeah, the chrome came off. But you can look at your comments a little bit. Let me see where I stopped at. If we look at the comments.
Let's see.
So Mike Skidmore says he heard that the buffalo chip was beating the heck out of people. That has been going on for a long time. They're being investigated right now by, I think, the state police. So somebody else said you eventually will drop your bike. Yes, that is true. Everybody drops their bike sooner or later. Unless you got a trike. Hard to drop that one.
Hopefully you will drop that.
Yeah. People trashing Sturgis. Yes, there is a lot of people. See, what's happened is Cycle Jerk came out and put that video out about the tacos and all this stuff because that's all you can do is stay on Main Street. Everybody else banned him from coming in. A couple of the bars, which I won't say who they are, were going to hurt him if he came on their property. They would have bounced him hard out the door because of things he's done to the girls and all that kind of stuff like that. But what they found out is once Cycle Jerk came out with this stuff and started talking about it, then everybody else jumped on board. Oh yeah, they're gouging. I gave you pronounce that wrong.
Gouging, right? Yeah. Gouging.
And so everybody jumped on that board. And it's like somebody else told me. They went into the Harley, which we did too. I got some of the shirts that were on sale for around $20, $22. And they were exactly the same price they've been the last couple of years. A few years back, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, you could maybe get them for about $18. But a $2 or $3 profit increase isn't going to kill me. You go to Doug at Sick Boys, this is the same price all year long. You can buy his t-shirts for less than $22 a shirt. So that's a great deal. So there's a lot of really good places you can get good deals. But what he did, and some of these other people do it, is they're picking places. Super 8's charging $500. That's the week of it. What you want to do is you can't book hotels this early out. You might be able to go into Deadwood, but most hotels won't let you book till around the first of the year. But we were looking, that's like we told people, if you've been watching our channel, which you should watch our channel all the time, that we were telling you that I looked about 3 weeks before the rally started, and you could still get pre-rally week up until Friday morning. You could stay in Deadwood, taxes and everything off of Orbitz for $200. You could stay in one of the best hotels in Spearfish for $120 a night, taxes included. And I'm like, that is crazy. And of course, when the rally starts, or when it gets a week before that event, they're going to jack the prices up because they've only got a handful of rooms. And they figure if you're stupid enough to wait to the end, you're going to pay. And it's like anything. If you go down and try to get a rental car for tomorrow morning, if you're in a major city, you're going to pay a pretty penny for it. You're going to get an airline ticket. You're going to fly out to tomorrow morning to Miami or whatever. You're going to probably pay close to $1,000. You know, we bought tickets, which we got credit back on it. But me and her, I booked it almost a year in advance to go to Oktoberfest, and we were going to fly round trip for $898, cheapest it's ever been. We normally spend over $1,000, between $1,200 and $1,500, the normal price that we pay. But that's the point you have to say. I'm assuming the guy that's selling 3 tacos for $25 is one of those street vendors, which I've been writing on some of the people. Those are carny people. Those are the same ones that go to our carnivals, our fair. Like we used to have one in Orange County, California. How much do they charge for some of the stupid stuff?
Like a foot-long corn dog was like $35, and then French fries, a basket of fries, which was a ton of fries, was like $15, and it was
So people look at that and then they come to Sturgis and go, I don't understand why they're charging me. I don't know where these people that are coming up with these prices, even Circle Jerk, where he comes up with this. He's gone to NASCAR, he's gone to all these different bike races and stuff like this, and they all charge those prices. So why don't he go and talk about that? But he doesn't, because he figured out, well, if I talk about this because I can't go in any of the bars, it's going to get more people to watch my channel, and I can make $100,000 off of Sturgis this year. So when I just kind of look through his videos, just a quick guess, he's somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 a year he's making off of his videos. And I don't know if he sells any products or anything. I don't watch the guy that much. I just went through and looked at his numbers, and I got a good understanding of what he's making. He's making a killing on rallies because he's clicking. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait is all of his stuff. And it's like, he gets a lot of views, but I'm going to pretty much say probably 90% of the people don't own a motorcycle because they wouldn't say the crap that they say. So what you have to look at is like us, which the gentleman was just saying he didn't know what to believe. You could ask anybody that's on the channel right now, do we speak the truth? Do we speak the gospel to you? Can you take what we tell you to the bank? I'd say 99.9% of the time you can. Once in a while, Devin has corrected me before on some different things that I've said about certain businesses in town. I mean, he's lived there his whole life, so he does know better than I do. We're only there 9 weeks at a time, so I don't have the knowledge that he has. But in my case, I probably know more about the rally, how it runs, than he does, because he doesn't work in the rally. He's seen it from Wyatt's view, but he deals a lot with a lot of the vendors, or not vendors, a lot of the businesses there sponsor Wyatt.
and he does a lot with them year
Yep.
round.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of different things.
Yeah, so he's got a good connection with that. So he knows things that we don't know the rest of the year because we're not there. We've been there in October, and the city used to have a meeting in October. And they quit having that, which was really great because they kind of told you everything that was going on, how much money they made, all this different stuff. And then they told you, here's what we're going to do. What's our plans for next year? The problem is they didn't know what the hell they were doing till 2 days before the rally started. We even talked to the guy that's in charge of sponsorships during the rally. And I said, did you get them all done? He said, no, I'm still working on them. Rally money's gone by March. By March coming up this year, next year, it's gone. You have to put your money in. Your sponsorships are supposed to be talked about before the end of the year because all these companies put a budget up. They need to know before they budget how much money they're going to give you. So what Sturgis has done is the exact same money they get every year is all they get. Now, the other thing that you have to look at when people say, I'm not paying $10 for a beer. Well, then don't go to that place. You have to realize that all these businesses bring in extra help. Well, the girls are working for tips. Maybe, maybe not. But there's bus boys. There's people that have to clean up. There's extra cooks in the kitchen. There's extra people doing all this people, inventory, all this stuff. So I would say most of those businesses are maybe doubling. Maybe Devin can say that on the one, Loud American. He knows the owners and stuff. He may not know at the moment, but maybe he can get back with us sometime and let us know how many extra people do they bring in for rallies compared to what their normal daily staff is.
And for raising their prices $2 or $3 for each entree. And they do limit it just so because they can't.
Well, the freezers are only so good.
Yeah.
That's the problem with people say, well, I don't understand why they limit the food. Well, first of all, it's only so big. And if they kept their whole menu, they wouldn't have enough stuff and they'd be running out of product. So in this way, they come up with stuff they have and they hope that they make it all the way through the rally on what they have because most of the distributors will not deliver during rally because it's so hard to get in. These drivers that deliver food and stuff like this, they have a route. So they might show up at 10 o'clock in the morning. They might show up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it might be. Some of the bars you can get to the back, but some of them are tough. Like at the Iron Horse, that getting through that alley with a semi truck would be probably pretty tough during bike week with all the bikes that park so close.
Well, we found out in Deadwood too. We went down there early one morning to do a thing with Sick Boy, and it was 9 o'clock. And when we got there, we pulled right up front, backed up, and there was some cops sitting there. You know, we didn't think nothing of it. And they said, you can't park here until 10 o'clock. And Doug came running out, you can't park here until 10 o'clock. And it's like, but I guess they keep the street. Nobody can park on the street because it's a yellow zone for loading and unloading. So I guess during bike week, they close that street off for bikes. Can't park down there until 10 o'clock. So the people that need to get deliveries can get them before the bikes get down there. So that's why there was no parking in Deadwood until 10 o'clock in the morning, which we never knew that. We've probably never been down there before 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's why we didn't know that. But we got there about 9 o'clock that morning. Must have been Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday. Wednesday, we had too much stuff going on. So Thursday is when we did another chicken run, went to the chicken house and ate chicken dinner. So we did Doug's thing at 9 and met everybody that I could remember to call. If I didn't call you, I'm so sorry, but I wrote everybody I thought I knew, tell them we were going to meet at the 76 Rodeo Museum and we would leave and go run and get some chicken. And then about half of them stayed with us the rest of the day, and then half of them decided they just do the chicken and then leave and go on. I'm still talking about the Deadwood thing. So, all done.
So, yes. So that's where you see the bad things about it. And people say, oh, they're all leaving because, but once again, Dummy Drag, whatever his name is, this is only his third year that he's done Sturgis motorcycle rally. So normally he runs around all the bars. He got banned from pretty much most of them. He couldn't step foot in. Very few he had any permission to come in.
He said he heard that the bartenders were really upset. Said
yeah. Karen. Karen Knoll.
Karen Nicole.
She was a big one. Because remember a couple of years ago, she was doing a bunch of stuff for him in Myrtle Beach when he didn't show up. Well, I was going to go talk to her, and I thought, it's not my place to say anything. So this year, last year she got so many trolls bad mouthing her and all this stuff on her own social media. So I went up to her, I think it was in Daytona this year, and I said, you know why you're getting that, don't you? And she says, oh yeah, that a-hole. And she went off on him, and I said, well, I wanted to come to you, but I didn't think it was my place. I didn't want you to think I'm jealous because you and him were working together. I didn't want to get involved. And she says, I wish you would have. I said, well, I just didn't think it was my place. I said, after a while, I seen you saying so much about him. I thought, I'm going to come talk to you. And she said, oh yeah, he will never be. He got thrown out of Froggies this year in Daytona because of her, because that's her main bar. And she said, no, this clown does not come in here. I'm not working. And of course, the owners are like, oh, all the girls are the same way. He's a creeper. And somebody came up with what his real meaning or who he is. And I'll have to see if I can find that because it actually nailed him. If you looked up the dictionary of this psychotic disorder, all four things were him exactly. And looking for attention was one of them, and making
attention whore. We've got a few people that we know, and that's what we call them, an attention whore.
There's great people out there. Awesome Documentary and Prime Cut Pro. Yeah. They're great guys. They talk to the girls and stuff all like that, but they're not the creepers like that. Sometimes they'll get the girls even tips to talk to them and stuff. So, there is some people out here, because I also say Dummy Drag doesn't even ride a motorcycle during the rally. He's got some kind of crotch rocket or something he's got. I've never seen him on it, because at rallies he's not on it. He's got his little NASCAR shirt that he wears all the time. And so he's pretty easy to pick out. But, and some people say he did some great interviews back in the day. I never followed the guy. I had no idea who he was until he started creeping on our territory, which we don't have any territory. And I don't mind people coming in. It's kind of like us. He doesn't go to the museum, but, we were the first people to do the museum. We were one of the first YouTubers that were covering the race in Daytona.
Oh, that's Sons of Speed.
Yeah, Sons of Speed. We were kind of the first ones to do that. And then they started getting all these other people. And they're like, well, there's not a lot of room for you anymore. And I'm like, that's fine. Everybody and their freaking brothers there. I don't need to cover that. I'm kind of, and same thing with SEMA. There really wasn't any motorcycle people that were going to that. And now we're seeing more people there. Same thing with the Mecum auction. We're seeing more and more people showing up on that step that weren't motorcycle related people like us. So, which is fine, but it's funny how a lot of these people are definitely watching us, because how would they know where we're at and what rallies we're doing?
Mike Skidmore said that her two wheels camped at KOA 60 miles. So that might have been.
No, she said she was in Keystone. She said on her first video she came out, I'm pretty sure she said she was in Keystone, which isn't 60 miles away. But I don't know.
That one that KOA that Trump say that? The Trump school shooting, that might have been about 6 miles.
I don't think it's that far because Mount Rushmore isn't even that far. So I don't know. I don't know how many miles it was. I didn't watch her whole video. I just kind of watched a little bit of her. She just sat there and talked in front of her. But I don't really watch anybody's video because I don't really have time because we're putting videos out every day. So this morning I worked all morning to get a video done for tomorrow. It's kind of a highlight video. Some people like that where we're not talking really. So I got other people that are talking.
Said he'd be willing to bet they double or triple their staff at those places, the bars and stuff during rally time.
Probably, maybe even more than that. I don't know what the payroll is. I might be able to ask Michael when we go down to Branson and see if he gives me an idea of how many employees he has during rally. But that's the thing that I've noticed since we've been doing so much with the full throttle. This is sad to say, but the full throttle is blowing the chip away. Why would I say that? We're going to get hold of the security there because I'm going to try to find out. I don't know any other campgrounds that have the trouble with people like they do at the chip. So I don't know. We just talked to somebody that's been staying at Glencoe for 13 or 14 years now. And he says they don't really, very seldom do they have security coming and talking to people. Everybody kind of polices themselves. A lot of them are the same people that come every single year, but the chip may not be that way anymore. I think at one time the chip was probably like that. They had a good clientele that came all the time. The bad news is they're chasing a lot of us older people out. Well, nobody wants to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning listening to burnouts all night long.
They're taking the puppy out.
And so it's just crazy stuff that's going on that I don't know. We had talked about it actually this end of the year. I was talking about maybe doing something again, but we want to be back in that back corner like we were before. But with the way the security was, I don't know if I want. At this point, I'm not even sure if we're going to cover anything anymore for them. A lot will depend on what Rod Woody tells us when we call him next year and have a discussion with him.
A little bit more this year. Last year, he had a few medical issues, so I didn't call a whole lot. And the year before, we called like
every week,
once a week or every other week, and to invite us. Dave says he stayed at Camp Mandu this year. It was a great place to stay. Mike says that Karen Nicole has her own channel. Yes, she does, YouTube. Yep. And she's got a new Facebook. So if you were following her on Facebook, you need to go find her new Facebook.
She don't know what happened to it, but she lost 700,000 subscribers that she had on her Facebook page. Nicholas. I didn't get to meet you this year either. Nicholas said, hi, Bob and Tam. He said what he drives. 3%ers rent the house and totally keep to themselves. I wonder, man from the Mecum auction too. I didn't see him the last 2 years. He was there. We saw him, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's there because he ended up catching up with the guy from Storage Wars, the guy that was so rich all the time.
Yeah.
I can't think what his name was.
Dave?
No, the old guy.
Barry.
He caught up with him because I would have never known. He had a beard and he was all white. He ended up doing an interview with him. So he was there this year at the Mecum auction in Las Vegas one, where they do the motorcycles. So he was there. He's normally more out in the back, but I mean, which he's not supposed to do. He sits a lot on the first row, and you're not supposed to sit there because that's supposed to be for our people buying. We had a buy-in pass.
Well, yeah, but what they told us too is when they televise it, you're not allowed to be down there televising a live auction.
Yeah, and
he was down there live filming it. So I know a few people. I could have called somebody and said, tattled on him or whatever. I didn't, but
maybe next year we will.
But I'm just thinking, if he gets caught,
he won't ever get to come back.
No, they say he's got a degree in journalism. Started covering motorcycle drag races.
Yeah, so he didn't know, which I'm not granting. He hasn't been out here for a long time doing this, but getting into the motorcycles. What should I say? We've been told he's been thrown out of the NHRA drags, and I've had enough professional people tell me that is true. I don't know when that was, when that happened. I don't really care. But it's all I say with the guy is he's ruining the rallies. He's hurting them more than he's helping them, and it's sad. And so many people to jump on board and they go after just like this part saying that they're overpricing everything. Sturgis has been expensive since we started going. What year?
2011.
2011 is the first year we left. I think it's 2010. First time we went to the rally, and it was expensive then. I don't remember exactly what we paid. She thinks we paid. I thought we paid under 1,000, but she thinks we paid
It was like $1,200.
for renting a cabin for the 7 days. That cabin do. So I don't remember. I could probably go back and look it up through my emails. I know when we stayed at the Chip the last time that we paid, it cost us about $1,600. We did pre-rally. We stayed in Blue Sky, and right now, when I looked last year, it would have cost us about $2,000. So we stayed in to be 8 years ago is when we stayed the first time at Academy or at Full Throttle at Buffalo Chip.
That was in 2020.
No.
Since 2019, we picked up the trailer, and the next year we stayed at the Buffalo.
So yeah, so 2020 we would have paid what we paid was $1,600 for 2 passes for the whole pre-rally and rally, and then this year would have cost us, if we got our wristbands right away, was going to be right around $2,000. So for what are we 2016 now 26.
27 next year.
Yeah, so that would have been for 7 years. 7 years, the increase has gone up about $400 or $500 during the rally. I wouldn't say that that's a bad deal. Everything's more expensive. McDonald's is a whole lot more expensive than it was 10 years ago too.
Yeah, a lot less customer service.
And a lot of places are, it's hard to find good deals anymore. And it's like when we travel on the road and stuff. We don't, and what makes this rally different from everything else is Sturgis is it. It's not like going to Daytona. Daytona's in a gigantic city that probably has hundreds and thousands of people living there. Could even have more than that. I don't know. But you're up against, when you go from town to town, they're all touching each other. Ormond Beach.
You can't tell one from the other. When you leave one and go
and there's hundreds of
Hills, all of that.
There's hundreds, probably 1,000 restaurants that you could eat at. So most of those places don't raise their prices. But we're going to check this year when we go down to Oktoberfest. We're going to look at the menus and see what they're charging for food on Main Street. There's only a couple places. Cruising Cafe is the only one that really has a menu probably anymore. I don't know what these other two are. They're really.
In Georgia was it's just a pizza place, but I think they're open year round.
And they had that place down. I don't know if that. I think that one place was open over selling like New Orleans food. That corner bar there that had the deck on top. I think Main Street Station might have some kind of food too. I mean, it's still going to be bar food. But I mean, and there's that place all the way down at the end of the street before you go across the bridge. We ate there a long time ago into something else, but it's been closed a couple times since then.
Oh, we went down there once with, and that's in Kyle.
Oh, did you? I don't remember.
It was like right before the rally started. They had some time out.
But I mean, it's like going to Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of choices to eat at. But I mean, a lot of those places. Well, the one place that Steven took us to, I think it was like $50 a person for the buffet there. So yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Florida raised the price on it. They said all the places in Florida, when the snowbirds come in, they raise their price.
So that's not uncommon.
You're paying $6 for beer. Most people are complaining about prices. Don't even go to the house.
Yeah, or don't even go anywhere else, because it's like when people are complaining about this, some of the stuff I'm really going off on a few of these people. Because I'm like, you have never gone anywhere. You never went on vacation anywhere. You've never gone to a baseball game. She's like saying if you go to the movie, which I'm not a movie guy. She goes to the movie. She's like, popcorn and a soda now is like $50 for 2 drinks. Yeah, and it's like that's insane. But freaking popcorn. But I mean, nothing.
That's refillable. You can go back as many times as you want. So if you can eat 4 giant tubs of popcorn, then you might be sick the next day.
Yeah. Might not be able to get out of the place.
Bucky says he went to his first Sturgis rally in 2001. He broke down the outskirts of Sturgis and it was $200 cash to get it done. Dave says he's not the only one spinning the negative messages about Sturgis.
Which he is not. But he started it. It wasn't everybody. See what happens.
They jumped on the bandwagon.
What happens with videos? Everybody does this. If the CEO of Harley says something, you'll see 100 other videos on the exact same topic. And because they see, oh, well, this guy got 200,000 views or 500,000 views or whatever it is, 1,000,000 views. Well, if I talk about it, I'm going to get a bunch of views. So they'll watch his video, not even do any research, and just talk something similar to what that guy talks about, and not really do. So that's what, in my case, I really don't watch anybody's video totally. Like when her two wheels came on, I click on her video every now and then, see what she's up to and stuff. And we missed her in Sturgis this year because she really didn't come in Sturgis that much. So we, I watched it the other day, and I watched a little bit of the beginning, and I skipped to the middle, and I skipped to the end, and I'm like, okay, I got to have an idea what she's talking about. Professional Monkey's the same way. I don't really have time to sit down and watch even Amsel Adam. I click on his videos, kind of same thing. I kind of scan through them because I just don't have an hour's worth of time because I'm making you videos to watch.
So Coco Joe said at the beginning of your podcast, you said people should stop talking about it, and he would just go away. I agree with that, but you haven't stopped talking about it since.
Correct.
So zip it.
Normally, I don't talk about the guy at all because I don't usually like to give him any kind of credit.
So going to North Shore in Minnesota all summer and not pay a premium price. That's like going on vacation. But if you're really not ready to pay more on vacation, then you probably should just stay at home.
Huh. Yeah, like I say, I agree with whoever it was that came on a while ago and said probably half these people that are complaining has never been to the rally. I'm probably right because Sturgis Rally is not for everybody. But what I always say about the Sturgis Rally is probably anybody that owns a Harley or maybe even an Indian, it is on their bucket list. They may never make it, but it's there somewhere because they all know that that is the biggest rally to go to. Daytona is nothing compared to that. Laconia is nothing. Galveston, none of these other rallies are anywhere in the same league as that, other than saying it's a motorcycle event. And so I don't need to go to every single one to know that. We've gone to all the big ones at least once and seen, oh no, we haven't gone to Ohio Bike Week, but it's really not a bike week. It's 2 bike weekends. And I'm not going to spend all the money to go there for 2 days or 4 days for a 10-day rally.
Yeah, so can't be free.
Yeah.
Cam's got the leash. Rod King says Bob's on the box.
And well, it just drives me crazy. And most of you that have been to Sturgis, which is what I keep saying, watch the comments, not necessarily here, but go on to some of our videos that I'm talking about Sturgis and stuff and about this issue that people have talked about. And just read some of the comments. There is so many great comments that people are like, no, I go every year. I love it. I don't spend a bunch of money. You know, one guy said he spent about $7,000 this year. They rented a house. And that's what they said. If it was his first time he usually goes, I think, to Daytona, and they have a place where they rent a house, which is really cheap. I think they get it for the whole week, a big house for like $1,500. And I'm like, I don't know where he's getting that, but yes, that is an excellent price. But see, sometimes you can find people that don't realize there's something going on. It's kind of like Branson. When we booked the campground, I don't think they really understand that there's going to be a hog rally there. We got it for like $60 a night for full hookups and in Branson. But it's kind of the off season, so there's probably not a whole lot, but they might have thought that too. Well, if we can fill up with all these bikers coming, we'll have money. That might be what they're thinking. Some people are like that. Her dad was the opposite. What was his policy? They had a motel.
Yeah, you pay the top dollar or you don't stay here. My mom tried and tried. This tells you how long ago this was. They had 7 rooms in an apartment. And my mom says, let's sell the rooms for $12.50 a night. And my dad's like, nope, I want $25 a night, $25 a night. And he would want 1 room.
It was back in the 70s.
And my mom said, if you would rent each room for $12.50 and fill up, you would make more money. Nope. My dad had to get his price.
So if everybody else sold out, he sold out.
Yeah.
Because he'd get his $25 or not.
Because there was no place else to sell.
Yeah. So that's back in the day.
Well, even with his house, he did that.
Yeah.
He sat on
everything. He was sell vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of these guys that he always says, there's somebody in this world that will give you whatever you want. I want to sell this phone for $2,000. There is somebody in this world that would pay $2,000 for that phone. Somebody that has no idea that you could buy a new one for $1,200. But yes, but you got to find that person. And how long you want to sit around? Well, her dad was always somebody that didn't care
until health was over. He would not budge. Wouldn't budge on his price.
For about a 2-hour mark. Can you believe it?
Yep. How about that? Exxon Bikers on, Bucky Cat gave us a laughy face. Smelly Lizard said, I'm planning on going to next year again. Oh, and he's gonna, should I say that loud? He's going to propose to his girlfriend at Mount Rushmore because
Oh,
they're
maybe
both
she's on
Army
the,
vets. There you go. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we got to go to Harley One Forever's wedding. That was kind of cool.
That's where we found bison. There's bison right there in Sturgis. Can you believe that? I was so shocked. Getting around that corner, I'm like, holy crap. We traveled 100 miles to go see buffalo, and they're right here.
In their own backyard. How about that?
And they're really close. They're kind of combined in an area to where they can't, they're not like it.
So you go over the grate, and then there's the bison, and then you go over the grate again, like not
They
even
might
a
have
quarter.
100 acres or something.
But I mean, it probably goes this way.
Yeah.
But
It's not like a million acres.
it's like skinny and long.
I don't know how many acres they have at Custer State Park. And so they can hide a lot. But over here, there ain't much for them to go. So we'll look again next year to see whether they're in the same spot. Because that pass, if you go to Custer State Park or you do Needles Highway, that pass is good for another 7 days. So if you go over
You can go to Bearview and get in with that same pass.
or you can pay at Bearview first and then go down.
Yes.
You don't have to sit in line. You're zipping around the cars like we try to do, except for the morons that go in the line.
It says through lane, and there's 3 cars sitting there waiting to buy tickets.
It's like, you're not supposed to be in this lane.
Read
Read the rules.
Proposal goes well. I know. Smelly Lizard. That's pretty cool. I'm happy for you. Wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah. So far it's been really great. I'm really happy with Sturgis. We just things didn't go as smooth as we liked. Pre-rally was really great. I figured out why I like getting there so early, because each day is just an adventure that we make up ourselves of what we're going to do. Where when the rally comes, there's a million
this going on this day, this going on that day, and that going on that day. And it's like,
and then all the other stuff that's going on in those same days.
Yeah, so we've got a big list, and it's like you got to pick and choose what you want to do. So, and we had a good turnout on our meet and greet this year too. We had, I don't know, I would probably say 30 people there. Yeah, so it was fun. So that was good. We thank all of you for coming, and we're glad all of you got home safe.
Then somebody said they thought we came to the trasher thing to trash it. I had no idea what was going on. We went over there to get our stuff from Chase because we have a Harley Visa card, and the stupid morons wouldn't open up for another hour or so, and they wouldn't give us nothing.
The good news was for going down there, that's what Bob said. We should have just walked up and down their line because a lot of their subscribers were our subscribers. So we've got several that were coming.
Well, I didn't even know because somebody else came and said, "Oh, we're here for the Thrasher thing," and I'm like, "What's going on today?" Yeah. The only one I knew was the other guys. The 3-lane change. I don't know what day it was, and then this was the next. But I mean,
it was Monday.
It would be nice if we could have a film crew follow us around in a van and cars and come and fly drones over us. That would be a lot of fun. But we can't do that. We don't make that kind of money.
It's not going to happen in our lifetime.
Probably not. We're going to start doing some more riding. Next year, we're going to try more events like that. We're going to do a lot more stuff. I go riding. I'm going to try to get a hold of my buddy Art, and maybe me and him will go out and do some rides because she can't ride real far. So
if we don't get something for the puppy to ride on, she's not going to be able to ride between us for long.
No. So we're still trying to figure that out because we did find a guy. I don't know if you wrote that guy's name down the other day that we seen the video. It was in Sturgis. That he had a carrier. It looked like it had a backrest on the back of it. Yeah. They had a big dog in it. So see if we can find that.
Mike's son, Mike and Brenda. Sturgis was awesome always. Didn't eat at many restaurants. Still a great place to stay, and the prices that we expected. There you go. Hit the like button for y'all. Yeah, and Mike and Brenda. That's who we need to thank for going to Bike Food and Barbecue. So we're gonna get to go to that, and that was an unexpected trip, but we'll be right there in the area, so it's not out of the way or anything. Hit the like button for those guys. Bucky says you'll have to get her goggles. I got goggles. Sure. I got a little bitty pair, and then I got a bigger pair when she gets older. Been going to Sturgis for 30 years. I stand Spearfish, do it on the cheap side. You got to be creative. That's right. You got a budget. And I think a lot of people go and they just think, oh, let's go. And they go and then they think. I think that's the people that are so upset about the prices because they're not thinking and they're not budgeting. Well, they come with $500 and they spend that in the first 2 days. And they're a week.
Too is I think people, it's like everybody. You can go to a bar pretty easily and dump $500 to $1,000 in that one night. Buying your friends beers, doing this and that. And I think that's what happens in Sturgis. I think people think it's a small town atmosphere and there's not much going on. You get over to some of these events, like at the Full Throttle Saloon and stuff like that, you're chugging them down. Next thing you know, you find out, holy crap, I spent $500 tonight. And I'm here for 10 days.
Well, the thing we don't like to do, but a lot of bars do it when you walk in, They want your credit card.
Yeah.
Let's start a tab. So then you have no idea what you spent, how many you ordered. You know, and if you're not keeping track of it, and you're drinking 3 or 4 or 5, 6.
That's why it's better in most cases. People always ask that. Do I have to bring cash? I would recommend if you want to buy stuff, like if you want to buy stuff for your motorcycle, almost all the places do that. Take credit cards or debit cards, they'll take without any problem. But the bars and stuff, like somebody said to Full Throttle, they only take cash. Well, they were doing it during the rally, I think some of the bars were. Because somebody told me they had to do cash, but they do have an ATM machine there. But you should always, but see, so many people are so used, our daughters were like that. Neither one of them carry $1 in their pocket. And it's like, you should keep, which I pay a lot of my stuff with my debit card too, but I do have cash in my pocket to where if I need to pay somebody or give somebody a tip or whatever I need, I got the cash to do it. Because sometimes I'm not saying this is going to happen, but our daughter did. She got scammed in California, not the one we're with now, another one. But she was living with us in California, and she said, "Where is?" I can't remember what that was. Oh,
Yeah.
said, "Where
Get
is?"
that one out of the way. Would you like another tea?
Yeah, I guess you can order that thing.
Okay, I'll get it for you. Do you want these to go?
Yeah, you can give it.
Okay, you're welcome.
And
You get a free birthday cake. And thank you for whoever told me happy birthday.
so she wrote. She came into my office at home and said,
Where's Palm?
"Where's Palmdale at?" And she goes, "Have we ever been there?" And I'm like, "It's up north." I said, "No, I don't think we've been. But there's a Sam's gas card for like $25. We didn't go up there and buy gas or anything." I said, "No, I don't think we've been there at all since we lived here." And so we called the credit card company and found out that it was on gas that they used it on. Well, what we ended up finding out that the only place we could think is we had gone to a restaurant, a BJ's restaurant, and they take the card away from you.
Well, that's what she said. She was, you know, she just moved out. She was home and she said she wanted to take us to dinner. So she bought us lunch. We went to BJ's. They took her card, went in the back, brought it back out. She signed for it and everything. And then the next day is when that happened.
Yeah. So that person scanned her card and made a duplicate of it. And what these people do is they just put their name on it, your account number, because nobody looks. A lot of times they don't look at the receipt and see whose name it is. Some stores do. You'll see that once in a while. A store might look at your credit card, but most of them don't do that because you're doing the machine now. And a lot of your debit cards, you can just put down you want it as a credit card, so you just sign for it. So they don't look. Now they gave her a credit back and all that kind of stuff. But that's one of the things I think why so many restaurants now, they always have the machine with them. They put the card in it and you finish filling it out, put your tip on there and do all the different things you do with it, and you're on your way. So I think that's the other bad thing. Like the other day we had to do that. We had to leave a credit card and it was like I wasn't planning on buying a bunch of stuff.
And it wasn't busy either. I don't remember where it was at.
Someplace. But they came back with the card, but they must have went ahead and ran it through. But see, a lot of times that's what they were saying about the gas cards, which this has been going on forever. And they tried to say it was only during Sturgis. But when you take your credit card, use your debit card, and fill your car up with gas, when you run it through, it puts some kind of credit limit on it. Could be $100, could be $200, could be whatever that gas station does. Because they can't put $1 because if you end up putting $100 in your car and you don't have credit for that, they can't do it. So what it does, it takes a couple of days for that to drop off. It's kind of like if you go to a rental place and you only have a debit card.
When they did that to us at hotel we stayed at.
Yeah.
It was for incidentals. So, you know, they say it's just a $50 charge, but it'll come right back. Well, this one was like $250. And then we went to the next one. This one when we first got married, so we didn't have a whole lot of money. And
Thank you.
did all that and got to the next town and they said, "Oh, credit card's declined." And we're like, "What? Was it debit card or credit card? Must have been credit card." And they said, "Yeah." And we're like, "No, that I can't." I mean, it was probably only a $500 limit on it. Thank you. And so, yeah, what had happened was we finally called the credit card company, and they said that it was. No, they said that. Oh no, there's a $250 hold on it, and they said it could take up to a week to get off. And we're like, well, no, we got to use that to stay at the next couple of hotels so if you get to wherever we were going.
I had a friend that did that a long time ago. He bought some golf clubs in St. Louis, and he got them home. He's like, I really don't like them. He was a tall guy. He was like 6'4". And so when we took them back the next day, it was like, I don't know, $750, something like that, 500 or 750, somewhere. It was a lot of money. And so about a month later, he used to go camping with us a lot. He had his own tent and he'd just hang out with us and stuff. So when he went there, he went to buy something and it was declined. And he's like, I don't have anything on this card. How can it be declined? We called the credit card company up and they said, well, you got $750 of the golf club still on there and that you owe on yet. And he's like, no, I turned those in like over 30 days ago. He called the company up, the place where he bought them at. And that's what they said. Oh, it could take up to 60 days. But what they're doing is they're sitting on your money. They didn't run the credit for you right away. So he ended up bitching and hollering, and they got it. It still took a couple more days for him to get his money back. But
You gotta watch those guys.
so that's what I do is because I normally pay with a debit card for gas. So that's what I did. I have one card, which is actually our Bob and Cam card, that I've got a pretty good chunk of money in. So I use that because they put versus my personal one, which we only have so much money in there because we're paying our bills and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't want to get to where, the end of the month or the beginning of the month just started, so I need to start paying bills. So I didn't want to find out, well, crap, I got $1,000 of the credit because we filled the motorcycle up probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 times, maybe even more than that. And so if they would put $250 hold on each one for $20 or $30 worth of gas, that would add up pretty quick in 10 days.
So Paytax is on at swinging a million miles. And a few years ago, Neil says a guy at Buffalo Chip spent almost $10,000 with a chip for his birthday. He's staying there too. Maria says cash is king. Dave says time for bed. Becky says she got scammed. Happened to me on a trip to Toronto, Canada. I guess we're talking about Kimberly. Neil says, Maria, where's your campground and Junction Station mile marker? Just look it up. Glad you asked. I called Black Hills Station, campground 4.0 in Piedmont. Isn't that what you used to say, Neil? Wasn't that the core station back in the day? Bikes and bikers at the local car wash does that. They said it always takes $10 out. Usually only spends $5 to $6, but it takes them the rest of the time to get the other $4 or $5 back.
Oh, we had somebody that gave us some money on one of the PayPal or something, and it did that. They gave us like $20, and they charged $50. Well, I never got it deducted from us, so I'm assuming they did kind of the same thing. They must have put a higher charge on it, which I don't know why.
Well, that's what Bob told them when they called and emailed us or whatever. Bob said, retract it. Just take all the money back. It's not.
I don't want you to
25. They give us 25. Don't do it. Like it's not worth it.
Which I've done. I've got people I've given money to at times to get attention on their Facebook or their YouTube channel when they're doing live. Here comes your thing. So you can say your adios.
Would you like
Thank
me to
you.
sing to you?
No,
Oh,
she'll pass.
no, that's fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Rod King says he had a credit card company deduct for a non-profit charge at the Atlanta Zoo. Wow. Yeah. And we really got to watch out.
All right, so we're gonna adios, everybody. We're gonna be heading out, and she's gonna eat. Got to wake the dog back up, and so we're gonna leave here. She's gonna eat her cake and her ice cream. So
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all of the views that you gave us. Please share us with your family and friends.
all
And,
the super chats.
yes, and all the super chats. You guys are awesome, and we love you guys, each and every one of you. And be safe out there, no matter where you're at or where you're going. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring the bell for notifications. Tell them Bob and Tam sent you to go to any of our sponsors. And we'll see you on the next video.
There you go. And watch the video tomorrow. It's all on highlights. We don't talk at all.
All righty. See you guys. Bye.